fire. And blood.
Dovageris! Naidon mevatas! Geleti! Zadrizes gustaris costaur.
It's the 1,000 blades of Aegon's enemies. A story we agree to tell each other over and over till we forget that it's a lie. But what do we have left once we abandon the lie? Chaos. A gaping pit waiting to swallow us all. Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder.
Chaos is a ladder. I so love that intro. I will toot my own horn for a little second because I've always loved Littlefinger and the things that he says in Game of Thrones. He's such a worm. Yeah, it's just a great character. Corey, thanks for being here at the start of the show. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Fidel, you too, my friend. Thank you for being here early and also tagging me in some memes, which we will get to at the end of the night. We do have Meme of the Week back for another week. We've got another couple of slides that we're going to go through and just have a quick laugh at the end of the night. Let's break it down. My name is Ryan Milkey, and this is my House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 3 breakdown. We have about 60 odd slides that we're going to go through, and we're going to talk about them. And yeah, it's going to be fun. We have some guests joining us as always, so please welcome on my friend from Missouri, Papa Missouri. How you doing, my friend?
What's up, everybody? Glad to be here.
Thanks for being here. Appreciate you.
Of course, man. Of course.
Epic. We do have another guest backstage. He's just setting up backstage. I'm sure he can hear me if he wants to give me the thumbs up when he's ready, and we'll bring him on. Okay, just give me the 1 minute. So, Headless will be joining us very soon, guys. Poppin, what did you think of the episode 3 of House of the Dragon, The Burning Mill?
I liked it. Personally, it's a little slow at the beginning. But as you've said before, that's Game of Thrones style, slow and draw it out. And the end of the episode picked up a little speed for me. I didn't like it as much as the first two. And my rating will reflect that. It did last night as well. I plan to watch it again later this week. I've got a couple days off because of the holiday. So I plan on watching it again, and my rating might go up. It might go down. Who knows? So
I've had mixed reviews. You're kind of with me. It's not the best episode. I've heard people in our circle reach out to me today and say this is the best episode they've seen yet of the season. So, very interesting for people to be on different sides of the fence. And guys in the chat, this is now your time to speak up and let me know and let the panel know what you thought of tonight's episode, how you feel about certain things in the show. We are going to be breaking it down, like I say. And I do have some videos to accompany us as well. Headless, you ready, bro? Yep, cool. Well, guys, please welcome on our third and guest who's always here, Headless Ned Stark, Bloody Stone. And Little Puppy, how you doing, bro?
good evening.
You guys hear me? You good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You good? Can you hear the music in the background?
No.
Okay, it's really soft, so because I would have turned it up. I don't want you to get copyrighted or anything, but it's July 1st, 2024. And this right here, this is Mandy, and today is her 16th birthday.
Well, happy
So
birthday.
we bought her a car, so she's ready to roll.
Oh,
And
epic.
and I bought her the car.
Happy birthday.
My wife decided to buy her the crown because
Oh.
now she could be like Princess Rhaenyra. So now she can cosplay too.
Well,
So, there you go.
but her car will probably go farther than yours, right? Because
Well, I bought her a Tesla, so we're gonna do a test.
okay, yeah.
A doggy Tesla.
Well, I do see Lady Stoneheart has a greenish top, so is that a statement this evening?
Oh,
Are you on the green side?
oh.
Maybe.
Headless, Lady Stoneheart, what did you both feel of tonight's episode? Please divulge.
I liked it. It was a good episode.
What's up, Fidel?
Not a lot of action, but it was good. I liked it.
I'm gonna watch it again. I did not have a chance to do it today because I was too busy making an 8-hour video that you all better go watch. Gosh, man, I'll tell you, man, this editing, dude, it's crazy. But I planned on watching it again, but I'll tell you what, with all the research I did, I feel like I did watch it again, honestly. I like what they're doing because I understand where Charles is coming from for sure, but the thing is, you got to remember is that even in Game of Thrones, think about how many episodes you really got the big bang of action. It was usually maybe 2 episodes, one for sure. Exactly. It's like pretty much once a season, and that's what the buildup is for. And, again, I don't want to start. It's hard because I'm watching Acolyte and I'm watching House of the Dragon at the same time, where we get the big action sequence in Acolyte in episode 5. And I still don't think it's that good. It's fine for what it is, but I would rather watch this when there's no action than watch that when there's action with characters I don't care about. Where right now in this show, I care about so many of these characters. And honestly, dude, I've been thinking about what you said to me last night as we signed off. I don't even know if we were live still. I think we were still live. Yeah, we were, because you said, make sure you bring the tissues. Dude, I'm going to be dying next week. I'm going to be dying.
Everyone's going to be dying next week.
Yeah, but that's what this episode did. It gave us a little bit of everybody. I mean, even, Corliss was in there for a second. Everyone was in there. And I think they did a brilliant job setting it up. And I'm so excited for next week. We'll be over in Poppin's neck of the woods. We'll be in Springfield, Missouri next Sunday. So that's where I'll be doing the live.
Is that where Bart Simpson lives?
Springfield, Missouri. I believe that is where Bart Simpson lives. So maybe I can see if I can get him on the live. So
Never know.
Okay.
Poppin, how far away is that?
You have to get somebody. If you get somebody on the live stream that's got yellow skin, that'll go well.
Yeah. How far are you from Springfield?
About 110 miles.
All right, so I expect you to meet me there then.
All right.
Yeah,
Headless basically hit it out of the park. It's definitely a building episode this week. That's one of those classic Game of Thrones episodes that they do that, and yeah, I think I said it last night. They put everybody in the position that they need to be to go forward, and there's a reason why both episodes were named at the start of the season. Dance a Dragon and A Son for a Son. I'll keep you foreshadowing, bro. I've been foreshadowing for years. I'll be so glad when it's finally over. I don't have to hold off on things. It'll be good. And if we don't get copyrighted, I still can't hear the music, by the way, Headless. But don't worry about that because I've got videos to play this evening. We have videos that are probably going to get me copyrighted tonight, but we have the slideshow coming up, and I went a little bit extra with you guys tonight. So we have the slideshow here, and then I thought, you know what? Let's jazz it up a little bit. So let's make a little overlay, shall we? So there's the overlay, the Burning Mill overlay. What do you think to that? We have the little Burning Mill down there. We have some characters that are going to sit with us throughout the live stream, and we're going to assess their situation and what they were doing in the show. Blaze, thanks for popping in and supporting, bro.
Hey, Blaze.
This is just this to support by nerds. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, Umpty, and hey, Jeremy from Let's Stop Up Collection. You're late, my apologies. Never late, my friend. You're here.
Never late.
So we have House of the Dragon, the Burning Mill. Let's get into it, shall we? So I don't know if anybody noticed. I didn't notice this until the second rewatch. We had some change to the tapestry. We have now the depiction of Jaehaerys being beheaded. I love how the bloodline, as we're following it through the tapestry actually went through his neck. Thought that was really, really fun. Thanks for stopping in, Francis. Good evening, ladies and gents. New channel, new subscriber here and liking the channel content. Thanks, Francis. I appreciate it. We do have a meme, I think, because now we're on the topic.
Perhaps Prince Damon would care for a tour of the gallery. He hasn't yet seen the new tapestries gifted to you by Novus and Cohort.
Would you like to see the tapestry?
So good.
Would you like to see the tapestries?
You like to see the tapestries?
We also see in the tapestry the hanging of the rat catchers, which was nice to be added in. And then usually we go forward in these slides, but I want to go back to the first slide just to point out here. Notice that we don't have any thread running through the current extension of this intro here. All we see is blood. So the history going forward is going to be told with bloodshed, and there isn't much thread to hold on to. I like the little subtle thing that they had in that. It was very, very cool to catch. Charles, what did you think to the tapestry? Are you liking that they're changing it and updating it each week?
I thought the Jahirs had it was awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Charles,
it.
what do you feel? Charles?
Yeah.
What do you feel about the tapestry and how they're changing it each week?
I think it's awesome because it's something else for you to watch. It's most people intro, they're just like, but this really draws you in and it gets you started, it gets you started, for me, it gets my blood going. I'm like, yeah, we're here, and it mesmerizes you. And then you get in the episode, it's like, yeah. So, but I love how they're changing it and just updating it every week, it seems like. So. Yeah.
Headless, you've watched Game of Thrones just like me. How do you feel to the Game of Thrones theme tune being attached to the show? Still, would you have liked to have a new theme tune, or do you think it still fits?
Well, it's funny because when we first started watching this back in season 1, I thought it was for sure going to be different. I was actually a little shocked they used the same music. But again, if it's the same universe as Game of Thrones, then I like it. I'm glad they do it because they have all these characters have like a little bit of a different tone. Rhaenyra is definitely different music playing when she's on versus Aegon or Aemon. So. I like it though. I do.
Good point. Yeah, no, I like it. And if people don't know, in Game of Thrones, the intro isn't just an intro. The intro shows you what we're going to get that episode. So, sometimes you won't see certain areas like Winterfell or King's Landing and stuff. That's because we're not going there in that episode. What you see in the trailer foreshadows what's going to happen. So you can get really excited when you see a new place that you haven't seen that pops up in season 3, and you're like, oh my god, what's that? And it's really, really cool. And one of my favorite things about Game of Thrones. So back into the show, The Burning Mill. We basically start with the Burning Mill and the war. I heard people say that this episode wasn't as good because there wasn't any death. And I'm like, I'm sorry, did you not see every single member on the floor dead at the beginning? Yeah. It was a giant battle. Mad. We see Aeron. And the Blackwells and the Blackwells and the Headless, what is it?
Blackwells and the Bracken.
Brackens and Blackwells, thank you. Yeah. So we see them discussing and having basically a disagreement over border stones and whose border is what. And these guys have been battling throughout the Game of Thrones world and the lore way long before this. Their families have been at war, and they will be at war long after this as well. We're probably going to see more of them in the future. I'm hoping so. And then we see the aftermath of the battle. We don't actually see the battle, which is different in the books. In the books, there is part of the battle that we do see. And we do see in the books that we get more detail about this battle. Ali Blackwood is one of the participants in this. So there was the whole messy battle, and some of the details are that the Blackwoods attacked the Brackens according to the book. They burned crops, they destroyed septs, they destroyed churches of the Faith of the Seven. The Blackwoods ambushed the Brackens by the mill, and Amos Bracken killed Lord Samwell Bracken in battle. Then Amos was killed apparently by Samwell's teenage sister, Black Alysanne, Black Ali, who she's known as in the book, with a weirwood arrow. Black Ali is a pretty cool character who I'm hopeful that we're going to get to meet later on in the show. but I don't know if they're going to do it or not. We may see more of the Blackwoods and Brackens, but this isn't the first. This is the first battle of the war. Like, we've had other events of this show already happen, like Lucerys being killed and Jaehaerys being killed, but they were within the family. They were like assassinations and little secret things. Whereas this is the kind of first act where other people outside of the royal family are being affected by this war. So it's like the first major thing that is pointed down. And the Brackens and the Blackwoods will fight again. Yeah, Charles, how do you feel about having me explained now that they kind of left out a little bit of key details with the characters?
Yeah, they just kind of, the stone rolled there. Sure it did, and it was like a neighbor squabble in, the HOA here. But they panned away and then panned back and everyone's dead. And I was like, holy cow. Okay, cool. Yeah, we just killed each other's families. Okay, let's move on, But now that you explain it a little bit more, it makes sense. War doesn't only affect the royal family or who's involved in it. It involves everybody. So,
if not more so, like the royal family are less affected by their own wars.
Exactly.
Because they have people fighting for them, and they're protected by the knights and the people in front of them. And
exactly.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
I like it. Headless, so you did some research on this. I did watch your video, a good video as well.
Thank you.
What do you feel now that you did some research on it?
Yeah, I definitely understand what's going on more, and it's funny because I'm reading the chat, like Fidel and Mitchie, Francis, even Corey. You guys are all kind of talking about that, and you wanted to see the deaths and stuff. But I tell you what, man, I literally just made a video on this today, so definitely go over and check it out after the live. And I think you'll see why, number one, HBO did decide to not show this on screen. And I kind of go over basically what happens. It's not a long video. It's quick and to the point. But I think I did a pretty good job trying to explain why I thought that they did not put this in. Because I know, Ryan, we've been messaging all day. I had a couple questions about when I was making the video, and there is some stuff that I would love to see. But one interesting thing, and I'm not going to say it on live because I don't want to do any spoilers. But Ryan, I definitely have a question for you after the live, because there was something I found after the video dropped that I was interested in. So, but yeah, I mean, if you guys want to know kind of like a real quick synopsis of what the battle is, check out the video today. When we're watching it, I was like, okay, so I was a little confused on who the characters were even. And then again, when you do a little research, and it's hard sometimes because we don't know sometimes, like sometimes it's hard to follow a character or a faction or a house that is in season 1 back in like the beginning, and we don't really hear the name. And then all of a sudden, like, at this point it's 2 years later and we're supposed to be able to make that connection. And I definitely did not make that connection. I know we talked about it briefly on yesterday's live, but now I understand it a lot more just by kind of just doing a little research and rewatching the scene and talking to Ryan, honestly. So, but yeah, I didn't have a problem with it after I did the research. Again, maybe the first time I watched it, I was kind of like, oh, well, why didn't they show anything? But again, they do kind of hint upon what was going on there. They don't do I don't think they do a great job in the show, because I don't know how, Charles, you didn't read the books, correct?
No.
Were you confused on exactly what you were watching in the beginning of that episode?
No.
You knew exactly what was going on?
I knew we had two families feuding. And basically the way the show's going, we're going to war, and that's been very evident for the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I figured that was going to be the Pearl Harbor of the next war.
Yeah.
We've already hit the red button, and now this just escalated it a little bit more, basically.
Yeah.
I
guess like I understood that one side was for the Greens, one side was for the Blacks. I guess my big confusion came from, I was trying to figure out, is this like, when did this happen? And it does seem like it happens pretty much when it happens. Like, I don't think it's not going back in time. It's not going forward. Like, that's where I was kind of like trying to fit it into the story. Because again, I didn't even know anything about the battle. Heck, I didn't even know the name of the battle until I looked it up. Like, because they don't make any mention of it. They don't call it that in the show, right? In the
Battle of the Burning Mill. Yeah, they do.
They did call it that. See, that's why I like watching these twice. It just today I just was unable to watch it because I definitely did not catch that yesterday.
And I even caught it in the trailer that they released before the show even came out. I did my little video. I'll always keep going on about that. I caught it. I said, I wonder if that's the Battle of the Burning Mill or if that's the Battle of Rook's Rest, because they're quite close together. Like Rook's Rest is basically next week's episode. So it's like, you know, they are very close together. So I'm glad that I caught it, and I'm glad that it was the Burning Mill. I remember in the trailer, you remember we see people marching, and I was wondering where they were going and what they were doing. And I thought they might be marching away from the Battle of the Burning Mill, maybe. But yeah, definitely a good one. Then we see Kristen Cole looking down. After I don't think I included the twins, so I do apologize for that. The twins were buried, and they got a I like the burial that they got. They got a human burial. It wasn't like, you know, the Targaryen that gets burned and the Valerians that get sent out to sea and all this kind of stuff. It was a very human burial. They were put together. They came in the womb together and they were buried together. And then we see Kristen Cole in this shot, and I thought, is he looking down on what he did as like a metaphor, because they're now in the ground and he was looking down? At first I thought Alicent might have been on her knees, and I was a bit afraid of what we were going to see, because I never know with Kristen Cole. You know, if you wanted to see Alicent on her knees, then please hit the thumbs up on the stream. But yeah, and then we have a really cool, I love this shot. This is now my wallpaper on my PC. I hate Kristen Cole, I just want to say that, but this is the wallpaper on my PC for the week, because the light coming through the window shining on his gold cloak, when we know that he is the most dirtiest and most scoundrel character in this show right now.
Yeah,
it's just very Game of Thrones-ifies to just glorify a character right in front of our eyes. You know,
it reminds me a little bit of like kind of like, and I hope he doesn't have a similar arc, but it kind of reminds me of what they did with Jaime Lannister. A little bit.
Interesting. Yeah. Let me catch up with the chat. Where is everybody? So Corey says, I really like the Blackwood, the bloody Ben, because he licked his teeth. Yeah. Mitchie goes, I think the beginning symbolizes what's to come. No one knows how or why this exactly started, and it's a ripple effect. Yeah, that's a good point. We did hear the boys bickering, though, didn't we, about the rumors that had been said about Rhaenyra being a kinslayer and Aegon being a false king and all that. That's all rumors from either families that have been spread across the lands, and very interesting. Fidel wanted that battle to go down. I did too. Jeremy from LSAPC says, I saw a poll on HBO that shows 13% of watchers are Team Green and 87% are Team Black. I'd like to know who those Team Green people are.
I know, especially after this episode.
Yeah, I haven't got a clue. She says, I don't really know that, but I kind of thought that it was the first major battle in the Dance of the Dragons. That's why it was in there. Yeah, it is. It's the first major battle that has consequences for people outside of the families involved that we have in front of our face. Fidel says he's going to watch your video, Headless. Mitchie's only here for the giveaways. Mitchie, we appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Make sure you get the hashtag right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Corey's going to check out your video as well. Mitchie, I did in Game of Thrones. I thought Cole before the haircut, and the haircut is from the 80s Jill Bowl era. I love Mitchie. She's got so many things running through her head. She bets Alicent is pregnant from him. Okay. Interesting. And then from me finally, Rhaenyra's dress at the twins' burial deserves a mention. That's sleek black that looked like dragon skin. It was, yeah. If you zoom in, it was padded like it had dragon scales on it and stuff. And I like how she was very mute and she was in black, because usually she's wearing her house colors with the red and the black and stuff. And you know, she was very respectful, because they were there to protect her and all this kind of stuff. And they loved each other and died fighting for a battle that wasn't even theirs, in my opinion. Question for me from Fidel. Ryan, who do you have the most, Cole or Joffrey Baratheon?
Ooh.
Oh, hate the most?
I'm going to say Cole.
What?
And you'll find out when all this is over. That's what I'll say.
Oh.
You mentioned the Battle of the Burning Wheel thing in Game of Thrones. Okay, Mitchie. I can't recall it right now, but yeah. I know we did get a mention of Harrenhal, and that was one that was in this week's episode. So we'll move on. Please, guys, feel free to speak up whilst we're going through this. If I don't ask you a question, I apologise as we're moving through. We do see that Kristen Cole looks like he's got some new Knights Guards, and they're not really doing their job, are they? They're sat on the steps and hanging out and chilling, which isn't really good. I mean, we see Aegon, and basically Aegon has hired his mates, his nepo baby friends have now been hired up in the food chain, and they're hanging out in the fake clothes of the Knights Guard, and they're not honouring the rules that they're supposed to honour because they're on about going to brothels and all this kind of stuff. It's mad. I just see Aegon as a pretender. He's a Comic-Con guy. He's dressing up in cosplay to be the king. That's how I see it. You know, we even see in this episode he puts on the armor like he wants to be the king, and it's like, bro, you don't need to do those kind of things to assert your dominance as king. You just need to be a king, a good king. And
yeah,
he hasn't got a clue. He's completely.
It's funny because Tyrion says in season 2 of Game of Thrones to Joffrey that they need to see their king out there leading them, and you know, so it's funny. It's funny that you said that, but yeah, I agree. It's totally different though, and Tyrion might have been saying that because he hates Joffrey so much, but I think he was actually being very. I think he was being serious with them because I think he was right because he didn't want to die and lose the battle. You're right. I mean, men that think they're going to lose a battle, they need something to kind of get them going, and I think that's what Tyrion was doing. But it's interesting with this because you're right, because they definitely didn't not want him to go, and especially Larys. Larys definitely didn't want him to go.
Yeah, Charles, how do you feel about Aegon in this episode?
How do I put this? He's a joke. He's like a St. Louis Cardinals fan, in my opinion. When things are going good, he acts like he's a great leader. When things are going bad, he just kind of follows Cole or follows the hand. When it was Otto, but he doesn't really just say we're going to do this or follow through with anything. It seems like. If someone tells him to jump as the king, he shouldn't say how high. He should say, you jump. But he's the one that does what others tell him to do. And he's a joke, in my opinion. He's, I don't remember how I put it last night, but yeah,
for me, he's a teenager whose dad went out for milk and never came home, and he's looking for a role model.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. He's a typical teenager. I don't have kids, and I know, some of the people watching do have kids, and maybe you can relate to having a teenager around and wanting to be the almighty and agreeing to do these things and not doing them and stuff. We have a question in the chat. Where was it? Question from Francis. Question, guys. Why would a king let go of his hand / Kingsguard? Isn't the hand a vital role in the castle? That made me wondering. Yeah, so I think he did it specifically with Otto because if you remember in the first episode or the other episode, he wasn't allowed to do anything that he wanted to do. He was sat at the court trying to be political, and he was saying his things, and then Otto would come and correct him and say, look, you can't do that. And he was getting annoyed because he's the king, but he has to do what this guy's telling him to do. And then fast forward, he comes in and he's upset because of Cole sent Eric away, and he's like, you should never have done that. And I just think he inherited Otto, and he wanted to get rid of it because it was a reminder of his dad, and he wanted to have his own, which is Larys in his ears. Yes, it is. But the boy's impressionable, so that's going to happen. But yeah, that's how I would answer the question.
I think between Alicent, Cole, and Larys. I mean, again, I'm not this far in the book, so I mean, Ryan, you can maybe tell us if it happens, but do they go over how those three influence this move at all? Or how do they explain this move in the book, or does it not happen in the book? Because I mean, that's always a possibility. Or do you not remember?
I don't think it happens in the book. Yeah, no, I don't honestly think it happens.
He doesn't remove Otto in the book?
Oh yeah, he removes Otto in the book. Yeah, I thought you meant with Alicent, him talking with Alicent about it.
No, I just didn't know how much those three, if was it all a bunch of influence to them, because we don't really see it. We don't see it on screen. But I assume when all that happened, it was all Cole and Alicent and probably Larys as well. Probably a little bit of each of them, Yeah, and again, probably. But Otto, like you said, look what you did to him in I think it was episode 1 when he's basically saying, no, we're not giving this dude his back as cattle or his livestock, whatever it was. And I think I like your analogy though, Ryan, because you're right. He's like a teenager. He's like a teenager who acts tough, but when it comes down to it, he doesn't really know what to do. Because he doesn't have the life experience.
Yeah, exactly. Corey says Aegon is the worst Targaryen. Yeah. Oh my god.
I mean, I hate Viserys, and I'm not talking about King Viserys. I'm talking about Viserys, Danny's brother. That dude's the worst.
Yeah, give him his crown.
Give him a golden crown.
And as if he says, Knights Guards used to be put through the ringer to be accepted into knighthood. Now he's just hanging armor on his friends willy nilly. That's like it's going to backfire in a big way. Yep. Master of Whispers is in his head. I agree. Aegon acts tough, but he's still controllable like a child. Larys manipulated him and earned a seat at the table with literally no effort. Agreed. Mitchie says both the boys are acting like toddlers, not even teens. It's crazy. Wonder if Larys has a needle in his cane. Ah, a needle as in a sword like Arya's, a sort of thin. Interesting. Mitchie, your mind is amazing.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I love it. That's sick. And we see Rhaenyra at the. I think this is her at the funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah, very somber. I think it's her saying goodbye to the girls actually when she's sending them away. And we do have just the difference between the two of them is very, very funny. Yeah. You know, he's very angry and he just pubescent teenager, and she's very stoic and very understanding and nurtured. And she's not ready to quite go to war quite yet, which we'll understand later on in the episode. And here we have some images of Larys getting into his head. The armor for me is a little bit off-putting. So they say in the show that he has Valyrian steel armor. Now that to me is a big red flag, because Valyrian steel is very hard to make and it's very hard to come by, and you need all these crazy things to make it. That's why there's not very many swords within the world. And I genuinely don't think it's ever confirmed that Aegon the Conqueror had a Valyrian steel armor set, because this is the Aegon the Conqueror's armor, which is crazy that they've even got this. Like, I was blown away that they even have it because it's so old and it's so crazy, and that's why it doesn't fit. And you see him fidgeting around in it because he's cosplaying. It's not his armor, and he doesn't fit it, and you clearly see that throughout the episode.
Yeah.
But Headless, I'll go to you. How do you feel about it being Valyrian steel?
Well, that's my question. Who's the one who told him that? Was it one of his buddies or whatever?
Yeah, and I believe you could even see by looking at it with the markings. It's got the markings of Valyria steel, like the intricacy designs built into it, like the dagger has.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, first of all, wouldn't Valyrian steel isn't it heavier than regular metal? I mean, I feel like it
is kind of heavier.
A very heavy armor. I don't know. I assume that it's right, and it is. But Valyrian, yeah, I mean, I guess Valyrian can be melted down. So yeah, that's true.
He was a very I don't think George ever confirmed that Aegon had an armor made out of it. So
yeah, I mean, I would love to do a internet search on that, but I feel like might get something I don't want. So I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Yeah, we'll move on to Mysaria, the White Worm. We see her scar here quite prominently, and I have her linked in this episode with another character from Game of Thrones called Varys. And I'm going to play a little video for you guys as to the connection that I see between the two of them.
Millions of people, many of whom will die if the wrong person sits on that throne. We don't know their names, but they're just as real as you and I. They deserve to live.
I know the struggles of the small folk of King's Landing. They will be ruled either by you or by the usurper. And only one of you has shown yourself to be merciful.
Who do you truly serve?
The realm, my lord. Someone must.
So yeah, a little bit of a intertwining two episodes together there, just to try and give you guys the connection that I'm making between Varys and Mysaria. I believe they're both from Ashai. I believe they're from the same place, so they could have some connections there. But yeah, they basically both work for the realm now in my eyes. They don't work for either or, even though she's kind of on Rhaenyra's side and she's going to be Rhaenyra's spy whisperer, and she helps her later in the episode with her knowledge of getting into King's Landing and all this stuff. Yeah, I just see that connection. I don't know if you guys have seen Game of Thrones and see that too. Yeah, please feel free to let me know in the chat.
I hope what I'm hoping for is I don't want her to do any flip or backstabbing, because to me it's almost going to feel like Varys then. It almost seems like the same character. I really hope they don't do it. So
Okay.
again, I don't know what happens. I'm just hoping because I don't need another Varys. I want a different character. Make someone different. So we'll see what happens. But that's just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah. Fidel says same two person on the same side of the coin. Yeah, I agree. Mitchie goes little finger and little pinky toe are the same character.
Little pinky toe.
Francis goes, I think Euron or one of the Greyjoys have a Valyrian steel armor, right? But I remember Euron talking about having different plates of armor because he was killing people and taking their swords and melting them to armor pieces. But bro, Euron was crazy in the books, and then they made him so different in the show. Euron was an absolute badass, with magical stuff and all sorts of crazy stuff going on. And yeah, I think even Euron could fire a dragon in the books, and you don't get any of that in the show. He just wants to stick his pinky up Jaime Lannister's bum.
He might be one of my least favorite characters.
Yeah, in the show he's terrible.
Yeah.
Charles, what do you feel about Massaria?
I like her character. Sorry, I'm trying to do something right now. I like her character. I think kind of like Jeremy said there, he loves her, but he knows that she's going to make him regret it soon because she's going to turn on Rhaenyra, I believe, at some point. All people in that aspect, they're out there for the end result for them. And whatever or whoever offers her the best deal is who she's going to side with in the end, I believe. So, I kind of agree with Jeremy. I do like her character, but I think she's going to make me regret it by the end of the show.
Okay. Yeah, so for me, it's all new with her because I remember in the book, she basically disappears from the writing when is never found after the night of Jaehaerys' murder. They catch blood at the gate with the head, and Cheese and Massaria escape King's Landing and are never seen again. So what they do with this will be interesting to see where they go. I like that, like I said last week, they're connecting her as the Spy Whisperer, and then you've got Larys who's connecting onto Aegon's side, so there kind of be a battle between those two. Because I think he tried to burn her house down in the first season and stuff like that, so she has resentment against that side. Let's talk about Sea Smoke for a little bit. Sea Smoke we see out in the far distance, flying around, making upsetting noises and being heard, and just not being happy, basically. Now, I'm not going to start this one off. I'm going to go with Charles, and Charles, I'm going to leave you. Where do you see Sea Smoke as a character, as a dragon? What do you see going forward with him?
So we know Sea Smoke's rider at this point is probably not with us anymore. We've kind of come to that conclusion, I believe. Correct?
Okay. I don't know. Have we?
I don't know. I'm going with that because the dragons can sense a lot more than I think humans can because they have that connection to their rider, to the human. And I don't know. I don't know if Sea Smoke's just going to go nuts one day and start burning the ground or, killing everybody or if some long-haired half-brother is going to jump on Sea Smoke and save the day. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. I feel like they kind of laid the plans right out in front of everybody this episode and nobody saw it. And I don't know if I should enlighten people, maybe. I don't know.
They laid it out.
What do you feel about it?
They laid out the plan for Sea Smoke in this episode?
A possibility for Sea Smoke is what I would say. There was conversations between characters regarding dragons and regarding the lack of dragons, and some characters being directly connected to Laenor and things like this. So yeah, I don't know. I'll just say it. I think that the show is leaning on putting Baylor? Yeah. I think they're going to put Baylor on Sea Smoke.
Baylor would be...
She's like, I haven't got a dragon. My dragon's not big enough,
So what would that be? Laenor would be her uncle?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and she doesn't have a dragon, so...
Yeah, she's upset, isn't she? Because her sister has got, you know, she's got the badass look. She's got the badass boyfriend who's heir to the throne. She's got the cool little dragon that she's flying around on. And then the other sister's like, well, I don't know. I haven't got a dragon, and I've got to go and be a mother. You're shipping me away. So I don't know. I think that they kind of foreshadowing that, and that isn't book accurate. So you know, we'll see. Because in the book, Laenor is confirmed to be dead, and Sea Smoke is claimed by somebody else. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. LSAPC's been paying attention to previous episodes. He goes, nope. Adam is riding Sea Smoke.
Well,
Adam is the guy that we saw Sea Smoke present in.
He rides him in the book, right?
Yeah.
Adam Hall. Yeah, I knew that. Again, I would love for them to switch it, because then again, it makes it just different than the book. But we'll see.
So I have alive or unalive. I have 2 photos of Laenor. Is he dead? Is he not? This is a big question for me, and I think Charles hit it absolutely on the head, and he didn't know what I was going to be bringing to this live stream. Dragons. Yeah, spoiler alert. It probably was a spoiler. I apologize. Yeah. By probably confirming it was him riding, it was a spoiler. So Charles hit it on the head, guys. Charles hit it on the head. Here we see in this image Syrax crying and feeling emotion as a dragon for her baby Arax that had been found dead on the shores, alongside Rhaenyra finding her son. And if you would like some more cement of dragons having feelings, here's a spoiler picture for Game of Thrones of a dragon having emotions, with Drogon flying over and seeing his mummy dead on the floor, and the sounds that he made was like a puppy. It's like those sounds the sounds you never want to hear, you know. And it was amazing. So I think Charles hit it on the head. I think the dragon does have emotional connection to the dragon, and the fact that it's out at sea crying and whimpering, it means it's returned to the other dragons and it's saying, look, I'm upset, I'm lonely. I'm sorry it says that. Maybe he's lonely, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with now going forward that Laenor is dead in my eyes in the show. So hopefully they don't need to confirm it, or we do see a body or something like that, or somebody says something. And yeah, we have the conversation with Rhaena and Baylor. I don't like it. I don't like that she's doing this. I get, you know, we have a conversation with her and her council, and the guy literally leans forward and says to her, doesn't he, you know, maybe you should go scurry away and we should hide you away as a queen because you need to protect you and all this kind of stuff. And she's like, do you wish for me to not fight and hide away? And that would be treason and all this stuff. But then she takes that kind of idea and protects her family with it and says, okay, well, I can send some of my blood and my dragons and my family away and safe if I'm going to release the nuclear codes to start this war. I don't want them to be around here, you know. How do you feel to that one, Charles? To making that decision with her family?
You know, I agree with it because she's just looking out for her lineage, basically. You know, she's being that mother. She's the queen, yes, but she's also being that mother that those kids need. You know, and she's just looking out for, again, her lineage, her life, and I think she pretty much knows that if it comes to war, they're coming to get her. You know, and she already knows they're coming to get her. But if she can get as many of her people out of there, away from there, safe, there's still a chance for what she wants. And she doesn't want war. That's pretty obvious. She doesn't want it. She wants to go and have peace. And we may or may not see that later, but you know, that's my opinion. I mean, leaders do that now. You know, we have areas within the United States that are bunkers, that are, you know, hidden, secluded places that if the stuff hits the fan, the president's family is ushered into those places. We don't know where they are, but they're safe. You know, the president may stay someplace that's not as safe, but his family's taken away. And that's the same thing she did. So
she says this is probably a smart move because the line must live on somehow, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was saying. But
yeah, safeguarding the family name. Okay. But the question is she going to listen? She doesn't seem to be very obedient. She doesn't seem to want to do what she's being told to do.
No. I think she's, how do I put this? I think she's pretty much like her father. She wants peace, but she wants it in her way. You know, she watched him reign for so many years in his way that she just wants to continue that. She doesn't want, maybe she doesn't like change. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I did watch the after show thing, and Ryan Condal, the writer of the show, confirms in the backstage thing that the dragon eggs that we see were not Daenerys's. Apparently, he never says they aren't Daenerys's. He says that they're the 3 dragons that Daemon gets from in that episode, and they came from Syrax's clutch. So therefore, they're Syrax's dragons, not Dreamfire's, which then therefore would make them not Daenerys's. And the 4th dragon egg was baby Aegon's egg. Baby Aegon's egg hasn't hatched yet.
Okay.
So that's what he said. But then I've also heard contradicting statements for Greta. I don't know her name, but the director lady that did this episode was called Greta something, and she did an interview with Forbes yesterday, and she laid hints that it was Daenerys' dragons. So I don't know who to believe, because she was only a director and Ryan Condal was the writer. So I would go with Ryan Condal, but I don't know. So it could maybe still twist it.
So the silver egg is the one that Daemon had in the first season.
Apparently, Daemon got 3 eggs from that episode that we see him climbing down the walls of the Dragon Mount to get the eggs. Apparently, in that, he removed 3 eggs from Syrax's clutch.
Well, because he only has 1 when Rhaenyra goes and confronts him.
I know.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, because that's what Ryan Condal said. I don't know. So the dragons are going to Lady Jane Arryn at the Vale. She requested, when Jaehaerys visited her, when Rhaenyra sent her boys out and Luke died, and Jaehaerys, I explained in the other episode, went to the Vale, then he went to somewhere else, and then he went to Winterfell. So he went to Lady Jane Arryn, and she's requested that she wants a dragon, because nobody can attack her castle because it's high up and it's impregnable except for when dragons come. So she is noted in the book saying, "Thrice have my own kin sought to replace me. My cousin Sir Arnold is wont to say that women are too soft to rule. I have him in one of my sky cells. Rhaenyra remains our rightful queen. In the world of men, we women must band together." So that's why she stands on the side of Black. I am interested as to how she's going to react when she finds out that she's adopted 3 kids and 2 baby dragons and eggs. Like, I think she's expecting a dragon that can protect her if the shit kicks in, and that's not going to happen, you know. So what do you feel about that? Do you think that might have ramifications for Rhaenyra? Not being very trusting and not protecting what she said she would protect, or Jace not fulfilling in his promise to provide dragon?
Wait a minute, I'm confused. So wait. So Rhaenyra sent Baela and the kids here to the Vale?
Yeah, that's where they're going.
Oh, you said yesterday they were going to Pentos.
That's where I did say that. That's not right.
Okay, so they're going to the Vale. Okay.
Yeah, she's sending with the dragons.
Yeah, so that would make more sense then. To maybe those aren't, because like we said yesterday, we thought it was going to be on the other continent, and now if they're not going to be, well, I mean, they always could end up there, but we don't know. Okay, that makes more sense then. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what is happening? So speaking of Pentos, then what is going on with there right now? Because remember, Daemon used to live there, and then they left, and that was a long time ago at this point. But so what happened? So what's going on with Pentos?
Yeah, so I honestly don't know. It's very confusing, because I'm aware that she's sending her to Lady Jane Arryn because she's requested a dragon, but then in the show she's saying that she's sending her to Pentos to where her mother died. So I don't even think it's very clear right now. So yeah, you are right. You are right to question that. I don't think it is very clear.
All right, in episode 3 of House of the Dragon, where is Baela sent?
Yeah, the girl being sent to the Vale is Rhaena. Baela is the surveillance girl. Okay, yeah. Baela is the one that rides the dragon. Rhaena is the younger one. Maybe a pit stop. It could be a good idea. Drop off the dragons and then go ahead. It's definitely interesting. Yeah, this is why George R.R. Martin needs to just give people normal names and not name people so close to everyone else, because it gets so confusing.
So it says here, again, is this 23 hours ago? So Rhaenyra is sending the kids to stay with her cousin, Lady Jane Arryn, in the Vale for safety. and wants Rhaena to go with them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Rhaena.
But in the episode, she argues about sending her to where her mother died.
Mm-hmm.
So it isn't very clear in the episode, I don't think.
Who's arguing with her? Rhaena? Who's arguing about it?
Rhaena.
So Rhaena maybe it's Rhaena wants to go back to Pentos, but Rhaenyra wants her to go to the Vale. Maybe that's what the argument is then.
I'm not sure. But we will move on because we could be here for another hour. I just wanted to point out the fantastic wardrobe. Look at how cool this looks. Like, screw the green dress that we used to have. These, the hair as well with the dreadlocks, and so good. Baby Joffrey. Jace in the background. Jace this episode was quite interesting. He didn't really want to be listening to his mum, did he? He was kind of, he's got it looks like he's got a short temper. So yeah, sister saying goodbye. Quite a heartfelt story between the two of them. They've definitely been separated from basically the upbringing, really. They were one's dragon never hatched and the other one was out doing what they're doing, Rhaena was like grade A, straight A students and, home at curfew and all this stuff. And now she's seeing like, why did I do all that? I might as well just go out, get a tattoo, get drunk, sleep with a load of guys. I might get a dragon then, because that's what everyone else seems to do when they get a dragon. Yeah, I agree, Corey. The outfits and wigs are amazing this season. They are very good. It's just the amount of detail that they go to, They don't have to have the stuff looking like dragon scales, but they do.
I think I'm going to grow my hair out like that.
Oh, yeah, I think you too.
Yeah. Take me like 46 years to get it that long, though.
Do we have any videos? We have a dragon size comparison. We can play that. It's a minute long. Here we go. That was a dragon size comparison video to show you the size of all of them, building up to obviously Balerion the Dread being the biggest one. It's a good little video. Yes. Dreamfire is forever my favorite dragon. I can see why, Corey. I hope you get to see Dreamfire. I honestly do. Just for you, Corey, I would love for you to see. Sir George R. R. Martin, please keep the name simple. I agree, Francis. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I really appreciate it. We're almost an hour in now. There's still 9 of you here tonight. Thank you very much. Yes, please don't forget to smash that like button if you haven't already. Sorry, Charles, did I cut you up?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Harrenhal. So we see Harrenhal in this episode. Harrenhal is the biggest castle on the continent of Westeros. It is the biggest one in the land, and it's very central. And it's just, people go to King's Landing because obviously this was burnt and destroyed and ruined. And I love seeing it. And we have here a shot from Game of Thrones, Harrenhal. And I have here, is it cursed? Take my thing off. Game of Thrones episode, The Curse of Harrenhal. So I believe in season 3 of Game of Thrones, we have an episode called The Curse of Harrenhal. And it's, they talk about how it was very creepy and it's a horrible castle. But it's amazing still. It's one of my favorite ones to explore and to look at. And I wish that this stood in real life because I would love to go there. Headless, how did you feel with Harrenhal this week?
Yeah, I mean, I like seeing it again. I always forget that, when Aegon the Conqueror destroyed it, like you said yesterday, that they didn't really ever fix it. but people are still living there anyways. And then we see the strong fire, and now people are still living there again anyways. So it's interesting. I like seeing it though, and I like the whole haunted aspect of it. It's it's just brings another. It just brings more intrigue into the show that that they have. I mean, obviously, we're going to see magic, later in the episode, but it just brings more intrigue into the show. I think I like it. I think it's cool looking.
Yeah, definitely. I like the whole aspect with the rain and how everywhere he went, it was consistently wet. There was no dry places. It was raining inside as much as it was outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Charles, first thoughts on Harrenhal? I know you're not very familiar with the place, but you've heard it mentioned a couple of times and now you've seen it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Just the amazing architecture of it. I'm way into architecture, and that was just amazing. Even though it was dark and drab and rainy and dreary, like you said, and kind of gloomy yet inspiring, if that makes sense, because it was just it's such a cool looking place, and definitely haunted. Let's just put it that way. Something's going on there for sure, because I asked you a couple of questions while we were watching the show about some issues that I saw with that whole place. But I really liked the look of it, and it looked like to me that it had been bombed almost, or dragons had destroyed it, war had destroyed it before.
They had, yeah.
Yet it was still the biggest castle. And I thought it was really funny how he finally did find somebody, and they were just sitting there chilling, eating dinner, So
Mitchie's mind is going on overload right now. She goes, "Oh, the theories I have with this place and the people in it," and I can only imagine, because this incorporates two of your loves with the mystery haunted stuff and Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. So it's like, I love it. Yeah, Francis is totally haunted, unexplainable why there is a weirwood tree there. Yeah, I think it's more explainable as to Damon was in a vision. I don't think it's actually there. I think it's in Damon's head. But yeah, we'll get onto that. So if anybody hasn't checked it out, check out the episode in season 3, The Curse of the Harrenhal. You'll get some bit more detail on Harrenhal. Going through, we have some awesome cinematography with just simple stones. And a guy who lives in Scotland, guys, and I live in the UK. There's more castles in the UK than there is probably around the world. We have like 500 castles just in Wales alone, and that's just one of the small, parts of the UK. So just seeing castle architecture is really cool. And again, I would love to go here. This photo, I just want to give a round of applause to HBO. This photo is amazing. How it's structured, how it looks. Damon's armor is badass. Although I am missing his wings on his helmet. I do want to see his wings come back, because they were a really cool component to his armor and the look of him. But yeah, this image is one of my favorites. It's so good. Absolutely love it. But we do have some stuff here that has been given to me by our fellow follower and friend, Horseman himself, Jeremy from Let's Start a Pop Collection. So he's been giving me some stuff today. He says, "Milky, is it me, or am I just going crazy, or did I see people in this castle, like ghosts and faces and stuff like this?" And yeah, I was eating my dinner and I was sat here because I'd finished the slideshow with some pretty good time this evening, so I was relaxing. And then Jeremy just got my brain going again, and I was back into it. Again, I love this scene. Damon just searching through like nobody's here. So good. But then we have some of these circled images here. So do anybody see faces here? I know there's a phenomenon where you can see faces and things that aren't usually there, and people have that ability. I didn't think I did. But then when me and Jeremy were talking and we had some time with some time scales to jump around, like I circled here in the blue, if you see behind Damon's head, it does look like a face to me. I kind of can see a face. And then again, with the red one, looks like there's a short, stumpy kind of character with a cloak. I don't know. Do people see faces there? Do people not? Please let me know in the chat if you do, and inflate Jeremy's ego even more, because I didn't see this in the show. Charles, what say you?
Man, that's the blue one. So the blue one, not so much, where you have circled. The red one, yes, I can make out eyes, a mouth, a nose of a person. Looks like they're kind of putting their head on his shoulder. If you look at it. Like they're saying it'll be okay. Now, on the blue one, personally, I see it more to his other side of his head, like almost facing him. I can see a face.
Okay.
In the shadow.
Headless, what stands with you on this one, bro? So Jeremy reached out. I don't know if you could hear backstage while you were off camera.
I heard. Yeah.
There's faces here. Do you see them, bro?
The red for sure. I actually see more of a face, not so much where you have it circled on the blue. Look to the far right. It almost looks like an old guy or something. You see?
Okay, yeah, I can't see it. No, I genuinely can't see it. You'll have to circle it for me, and we'll see it backstage. But I don't have that. I had to look really hard and zoom in and pause it and slow it down to like 0.5, and watch it back. And then I don't know if Jeremy planted that in my mind. Am I looking for something that I don't see? And so yeah, I kind of agree that you're all agreeing with the red one more than the blue, because Jeremy pointed out the red one to me first, and that's what he was trying to get me to find. And I do definitely see it in the red one.
You don't see it on the far right corner of the blue, upper right hand corner. You can kind of see the two black dots with almost like a nose in the middle.
Yeah, it looks like he's looking him in the face. It looks like it's looking straight into his ear.
Yes, exactly right. Yep.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, again,
let's see what the chat's saying. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it kind of looks like it. I don't know if it's on purpose or not. I mean, who knows?
Francis says looks like an orc. Yeah, I kind of see the blue one being a little bit like an orc in the background.
Yeah.
Umpty says I see several other on the other side of him. LSAP says yes. Charles' faces everywhere. The blue one looks like a wall decor. Yeah. Okay. Watch it at normal speed. You can't unsee it. I will.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw an older man on the far right side who looks like he's in pain, says Francis.
Yeah.
Guys, these are brilliant comments. Thank you very much for all this. I can't wait to go deep diving into what all you guys are saying. On the right, there aren't full faces, but I see a bunch from Umpty. And Mitchie says looks like a goat. Okay.
Which one looks like a goat, Mitchie?
Me, the greatest of all time?
Because now you've piqued my interest as to where the goat is. Red or blue?
If you look at the one on the left, which is the red, if you pretend the bottom of that red circle isn't there, it almost looks like this dude has bushy hair, the eyes and the nose, and he's got a beard. And you circled right through his beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one on the right, it's not circled. Yeah, Mitchie says the goat isn't circled.
I can see it now. It does.
Interesting, guys. We're gonna talk about this more. We'll talk about this again next week. If you find any more ghosts in this scene, go back, look for them, circle them, highlight them, record them, screenshot them, send them my way, and we'll do a Ghost Watch episode of House of the Dragon Harrenhal special, and we'll see what we can find. Because I love that it piqued Jeremy's mind and Mitchie's mind, because they do this kind of stuff. They've got the channel with the haunted history stuff, and it's crazy.
So I'm gonna throw something out here now. The one in red is gonna be so off the wall. Looks like Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It looks like Jesus, just with more of a bushy beard.
Yeah, it looks like Jesus with a fro.
You know what, dude? You know how it really reminds me of?
Yeah.
Is in the movie. In the movie where I'm going way back, dude. It's the cartoon version of Scrooge, the one with Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse and all those, and Mickey Mouse is Bob Cratchit, and it's the second ghost, the ghost of Christmas the ghost of Christmas present, the big giant who sits on all the gold. That's exactly what it reminds me of, and I know that's freaking crazy, but that's exactly the first.
I see Mitchie's comment. Nice one, Jeremy. Makes me think that they were watching it together. Mitchie goes, "Oh my god, see that face!" Jeremy's messaged me about it, and I'll give him credit. I bet you it's Mitchie. So well done, Mitchie, as well. She goes, listen, I saw so much in that place. I've never seen Damon's face look the way the whole time he was there. Yeah, he was scared himself. Jesus with a throw. Love it. Love these chats, guys. You might break my record, guys, for chats in a live stream. I think it was like 97 messages within a live stream has been my record. So guys, keep chatting and keep talking amongst yourselves and giving your opinions, and we'll break that record. This shot here is very hard to see. No, he actually saw it. No, he actually saw it. I didn't at first. Okay. Thanks for owning up to it. I saw you saying nice one, Jeremy. I thought you were just poking the bear.
All right,
Mitchie
so you got.
didn't see that unless I had to prove it.
All right, you got to throw that back up and then share what I just shared. Dude, it looks just like him.
So this guy in the red on the left, and then Headless says this guy. That looks like Milky Way.
Just like him.
Looks like the guy I want. That's what I want my beard to look like. Interesting. So this scene, it's hard to make out, but this scene here is this scene here. It's the same hall. You can see the arch above his head on the right here is the same hall as the arch on the right down here. It's just very hard to make out with my terrible screen capture. As you'll notice with some of these pictures, they're very clear and some of them aren't because I had to fill in a little bit of the gaps. With Damon arriving at Harrenhal, and he finds these people just eating dinner around this round table. Very just inconspicuous. Like somebody actually lives here. Like, did you expect to find anybody here when he came to attack Charles, or did you just think it was completely desolate?
To be honest with you, I didn't think. I thought maybe he would find one or two people. I didn't figure he'd find a whole family living there, hanging out, chilling, in their one-room apartment there. So, no, I really didn't figure he'd find more than maybe two people. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So we do meet Sir Simon Strong. And Simon Strong is the uncle of Lionel Strong and the great uncle of Laris. So that's who he is, and that's how he connects. Laris's father was Lionel, who died in the fire with his son, Arwen. Breakbones. They died in the fire in the previous season, so that left Laris the only one alive that we assumed was alive in his bloodline. We're meeting Sir Simon Strong, and yeah, he is the great uncle of Laris Strong. I thought it was very funny that this guy had no idea what the Iron Throne was. Damon had to literally go, "It's a seat made of swords."
That was odd.
He must not have HBO.
That was odd that he didn't know what it was. Yeah.
Well, I guess maybe people in that kind of realm, like you know your station, you know your role. Like, would you really have to travel thousands of miles down the King's Road to go to the capital city unless you're witnessing a royal funeral or something like that? If you're very northern, where you are up here in Harrenhal, it's not it's not like you can just go walk into King's Landing. You got to get a boat.
Yeah, that's true.
Melky's final evolution, says Fidel, for that guy. Love it. So yeah, that's Simon Strong. I did watch Headless's video earlier on, and I think he questioned as to who he was and how he related to Laris and stuff. So that's your answer. Simon is the uncle of Lionel and the great uncle of Laris.
Okay.
So that's Damon's stepson's great uncle.
Damon's.
Mitchie, you've lost me. Damon's stepson's great uncle. I'm lost.
Oh, his stepsons. So yeah. So he's.
Oh yeah, because they're not his kids. Yeah, they're always Strong's.
Or Jaehaerys and Joffrey. Yeah.
You got me, Mitchie. Well done. You got me.
Mm-hmm.
Francis says, Simon Strong, what is the Iron Throne, my prince? Damon, your grace, he says. Yeah, that's a good point to bring up. Thanks, Francis. Yes. Damon talks about him being his grace, and that's not correct. So Damon has literally got it in his own head. It's like he had the argument with his wife. He stormed out, grabbed the car keys, and he's drove in the Blue Mustang electric thing to the nearest charge.
Yeah.
The nearest charge point, That's where he's going. But this time he had a badass dragon, and he went to Harrenhal to Lumina Castle. Yeah. What do you think to that, Headless? What do you think to that? Him proclaiming to call me Grace, like he's the king.
First, at least it was blue, so that's a win right there for him. He's dude. I said it a little bit in my video today. Honestly, what is the real motive here? The motivations of Daemon in this entire series, and I did say in the video, I think that Daemon is was always really jealous of his brother, and I do think that when Viserys died, I think he saw a slight opening, but then he saw what occurred with Aegon, and then Rhaenyra being much stronger now than she was when she was younger. When he kind of spent time with her, because it was kind of weird in episode 6 in the first season. Like all of a sudden he comes back and boom, they're getting married. Like you haven't even seen her in 11 years. At least that's the way I got it, but they didn't see each other for so long. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting though. I'm interested to see what this guy's role is, because is he just there? Is he just kind of one of those guys, or is he going to be something bigger?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have much more of a role going forward. We'll see. Francis says, I think that this is bad for my man Damon. Don't let ambition blind you again, jeez. Yeah, just remember with Harrenhal, it's a cursed castle, and every owner and lord of Harrenhal has somehow come to their fate and have died. No, the lords don't survive when they're Lord of Harrenhal, and Daemon just took it. So is he sealing his fate with the curse of Harrenhal and all this kind of stuff? So yeah, LSAPC, got to step out, got to call. No worries. We'll pause and we'll wait for you. Okay, guys, we can't do that. Okay. we just did it for dramatic effect. Okay. So hopefully he paused it at that point. So then we see another high tower, Gawain Hightower. This is Alicent's brother.
Don't like him.
Don't like him. Yeah, he's a pompous university silver spoon up his arse kind of upbringing kind of guy. Yeah.
You don't like G Wayne? Come on.
No, I don't like G Wayne.
G Wayne?
G Wayne.
Poppy, what do you think G Wayne, as a character coming into this as Alicent's brother, has on the relationship between her and Cole? Can it continue?
So I think because they're brother sister, that they have a connection there, and I think he knows what's going on.
They're Hightowers, though. They're not Targaryen. They don't.
Well, yeah, no, but I don't know. I don't know.
Do you like him?
No, I agree with LSAPC. He's a jackass. He's very pompous. He's very proper, but at the same time, he screws up really big here in a little bit, and nearly gets them all killed. And then I think he tells Cole, I owe you, and we'll see what happens with that. I don't see him sticking up for Cole. I see him sticking up for himself.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
Back.
Be interested to see if he learns any type of lesson on that. What happens later.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to remember all these people here haven't never been to war. Rhaenys says it in this episode, and I failed to get screenshots of it. But Rhaenys says that these people have never been to war. I think she even says it in one of the first episodes, sat on the tournament in the first season. They don't know true war. Like, this kid thinks he knows it all by rushing ahead and getting across. But Cole, as much as we hate the guy, he's the only guy with a true proven track record. That he's been to war, and he's fought in the Dornish invasions and in the incursions of Dorne. And this guy has got proof of military background, so you should be listening to him, even though he's an absolute pompous prick, in my opinion. Although, please, Fabian Franco, if you want to come on live, you're more than welcome. I can call you a pompous prick to your face. And if he says that guy, Alicent's brother, is a jackass. Interesting. He says, can't type, but you know what I mean. His arrogance was quickly put in check when the dragon arrived. Correct. How will Gwen die in the show? Dragon, probably by Cole's sword. We'll see. Fidel, Mitchie says Cole, I say dragon. Okay. So there's a bet. We have a bet. Jesus, Jeremy, you're going to be broke, bro.
He is. I don't think G Wayne's going to die because he is Little Wayne's dad. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So.
We have a cool shot. Look at the horse. Look how cool it looks.
That is cool. Yes.
Agnes, were you going to say something?
No, I'm just saying, Lil Wayne and G Wayne, they do look like the same person. So I
totally. I see the resemblance between the two. Yes.
Here we see a power play of Alicent is back to the 7 again. She's back to the faith. She's like giving the blessing away. Like last episode, she tore off the necklace and changed it to an old one. And in this episode, she went back to it again. And then I believe at the end of this, she also turns her back to the faith again at the very end of the episode. So she's constantly going back and forth with her decision and her religious outset in this whole thing. Cole is absolutely dressed up to the nines. And he plays a little bit of a power play here, in my opinion, because I feel like she was giving him the cold shoulder. And then he turned it around by asking for the favor, and she gave him a coochie rag or whatever it was. I don't know what that thing is that she gave him. It's just a snot rag or a coochie rag or something. But yeah, this was like, remember me. I remember they did it in the first season, didn't they? When, at the tourney, they came to the main thing and asked for the favor of the princess and all this kind of stuff. So. But my long story, my question is to you guys. How do you feel about this being paraded in front of everybody? Because this was in front of a lot of people that this happened. This wasn't a secret thing. Charles, what say you?
So I think she made sure she did it in front of people to downplay any rumors possibly of what is going on. Because, you know, the rumor mill, it goes around even back then. And, you know, so... I think she did it to kind of downplay what's been going on. So, yeah. And Jeremy is right.
Look at her holding her stomach. Guys, I didn't notice any of this shit.
Yeah.
A coochie rag, lol. Douglas, do you see this comment? Look at her holding her stomach. Do you think she could be pregnant, bro?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I just think that I think you hold your. I think a lot of people hold their hands like that. I don't know. We'll see. I don't need more kids in the show, though, I'll be honest with you. I got enough kids. Like we got so many kids. I don't even know what we're doing with them. Like, I mean, I want to know. I want to know how long we're going to see these kids. Like, I mean, how many years is this going to go? Are we going to ever see these kids grow up? And I don't know, man. I'm good with the kids right now.
Interesting, guys. You're absolutely rocking the chat tonight. You're keeping me on my toes, burning the rumors tonight. Corey says, I don't think she's pregnant. I swear that's her normal stance. Okay. Yeah. I've seen her like that before. Yes, I did notice that as well from Fidel. Interesting to keep an eye on that one. I remember that Jeremy and Mitchie were in here saying that she could be pregnant. Interesting.
She might have had bad porridge. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, then we jump to Rhaenyra, and her council don't seem to have any faith in her whatsoever. No. They really don't have any faith in her decisions and what she's been doing. Like, they all want her to go to war. I feel like they'd all be dead right now if they listened to what she said. If she listened to what they said, and she's keeping them all alive. But Rhaenys is the strong, willful woman that she is. She lets some truths be said. I think she even says things about Jaehaerys in this episode, and how about there was prosperity in the realm and nobody knew what war was, and all this. It's very, very interesting how it all works. Here that we see the Lord Maester asking if we should keep you like concealed and hidden and all this kind of stuff. It's absolutely crazy that you'd even ask that of your queen. Like, she just doesn't want to drop the nuclear bombs if she doesn't have to. Like, there's got to be another way to solve this, because when the dragons fight, it's bloodshed. You know, there is no coming back from it.
Yes.
You know, here's something that I was thinking about yesterday. So she's got all these people on the council, right? When's the last time there really was a war? I mean, didn't Jaehaerys rule in basically it was very peaceful. Yeah. And you know, Viserys, I mean, from what we really saw in season 1, there was no big war except if you're counting the crab feeder stuff. Like, there's no huge thing going on that, you know, at least that they weren't part of. So, I mean, these guys cannot be that much older than, well, they're probably there when they look older than, like, Viserys. And I'm trying to think in my head, I'm like, okay, so what do they really know about war? When have they ever been involved in anything?
Just the stories that they've been told of Aegon and the conquest and the Field of Fire and all that.
Like, who's actually the one who I mean, I feel like Daemon, at least he's the one who went and fought, you know, the crab feeder and all of that. At least he was involved in a war, which I don't really know if that's considered a war because it's more like a battle, but it's just interesting that you have all these old people sitting at this table telling her what to do, and not one of them really has true experience. So
her council is so dumb. She deserves so better. I completely agree. And Headless, I agree with you that none of them seem to have experience, and they are just on her side to get a payday. It feels like they're just there for a payday, and they're safe. You know, they've got their mansion, they've got their room in the castle, they're saved.
Yeah,
Rhaenyra has knowledge. Sorry, Charles.
They know that they're safe because they're on her council.
Yeah, I agree.
So they will be shuttled
Power
off
struggle from Fidel.
when shit hits the fan.
Agreed. Here we see a very quick shot. We won't spend much time on them because there isn't much conversation going on here. We see Corlys and Rhaenys sharing a very romantic scene. So I watched the behind the scenes like building of the episode thing, and apparently it was raining on set that day, and they still decided to bring in thousands and thousands of liters of water to make it even more wet. And because I was watching this and a bit confused, I'm like, okay, so you've chose to go stylistically with the raining shot, but yet you put our characters undercover, and it was weird that they chose to do that. Like, why have? But it makes sense that they're showing from the wetlands now because we're at the docks and the boats, and to give you that kind of familiarity and stuff. And it was very interesting. The conversation between them was kind of bland. He was kind of feeding her some grapes and kind of being a little bit flirty with her, but she was wanting to continue the female legacy of the line. She was like, let's give Driftmark Throne to, see, I never get the both of them wrong. Rhaena, right?
The younger one.
Yeah, Rhaena. Because Rhaena lost her betrothed Lucerys when he died to Rhaegar, so she's now alone. So give her the throne, and it's very conforming of Rhaenys to say that, because she was the queen that never was and should have been, and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, I like the conversation.
Yeah, and I think beside that, I think really the whole purpose of this conversation is what Corlys kind of sneaks in there, basically saying that he's doing better and he doesn't have to use that cane anymore. I feel like that was probably the main part of this whole thing. I think they wanted to show that he's doing better. So that way, next time we see him, he doesn't have that cane. He's not limping around like he was in, what was it, episode 1, I think. But I don't know. That's what I think.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I looked down because I just had a memory hit my head that we'll talk about when it comes to it. But yeah, the crazy, crazy stuff that they're going to be doing with these two. I like Corlys. I like Rhaenys more.
I like Rhaenys more too, but I need them both to do something more. I just feel like right now they're just such side characters. I mean, at least Rhaenys had her big scene in episode 9 of season 1, but like, I just need more, man. Like, Rhaenys is such a good character, and I wish they would just.
I wish Rhaenyra would make her hand.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and technically, is it Daemon right now? Is he the hand?
Daemon's the hand, yeah.
Which I don't even know. Is Daemon even going back to Rhaenyra? If he does, when? I mean, at what point?
Yeah, I don't know. He's probably got to go back when he can't find a car charger. Like, he's got to go get fuel.
Yeah,
something like that. Charles, what do you feel to Rhaenys? Charles, what's your thoughts on Rhaenys and Corlys?
I've been a Corlys fan the whole show since season 1. I think it's his hair. I'm not real sure, but no, I love that they're, and LSAPC said it, absolutely power couple for sure. If things were turned around and this was the king and queen, wow, in my opinion. I think that would just be so powerful with those two running.
And so peaceful.
And peaceful, because neither one of them want war. They just want to live. They just want to continue on, continue the lineage, continue living, and continue building ships and doing what they're doing. I love both of these characters. I cannot wait to see what happens with them. Yeah. So.
Interesting. We do get more Helena this episode. Very interesting. I know, Corey, your ears will be peaked for this one. Helena was being very cryptic again, talking about kind of coming to terms with the death of her son and being like, babes die and that's what happens, and kind of just like brushing it off and not really being very emotional about it, kind of being completely blank wall, basically. What do you think to that, Headless? What did you feel to Rhaenyra with Helena, sorry, and her?
Well, Helena makes that comment to her, something about like forgiveness, and obviously it has to do.
What does she forgive her for?
Yeah, I think sleeping with Kristen Cole, and not being around to help her, or him not being around to help her, or something like that is what I'm thinking. I mean, what else would it be, really?
I think it's a play on the book, because in the book, Alicent was also in the room during the killing. So if she's forgiving her for not coming to visit her at night with the grandkids because she was sleeping with Cole, is that then playing on a difference with the book and the show? Like, she's forgiving her for not being in the scene that everyone expected her to be in. I don't know. That's a weird kind of oddball flex to try and throw. Is the show doing that? Is it making tricks out of my book knowledge and my show knowledge and mixing the two? So that's where I go with it, because I don't know what she was forgiving her for. Where would you go, Charles? What would you say she was forgiving her for?
I don't think it's the Cole thing. I think it's maybe more of, like you said, playing off the book. But and again, LSAPC, you're in my head, man. I swear, you're reading my mind. I think it's for something that's coming up. I don't even think it's what's happening now. Because like we know, Helena, she sees the future. She sees things. She hears things. She talks to herself. You know, she should be in the 4th floor of our local hospital in a rubber room. But I think it's more of what's coming up. And she's saying it's okay to whatever it is.
Okay.
That's my point.
Interesting. Great dynamic with these two, says Fidel. Jeremy says, I love Rhaenys' role this season. I think that there's been huge influence in the momentum of the show. I agree. Eve Best has been absolutely fantastic. Great actress, great character, great story. Corey disagrees with the popular on the stream. Really like this stream. More foreshadowing happened too. Helena saying I forgive you is definitely an Alicent sleeping with Cole.
Okay.
So not a future thing, but there was also a foreshadowing comment in there too. So yeah, I get it. It's very interesting, and I like that it does that. I said that to Jeremy earlier on in the messages. I love that Helena can give you and Mitchie completely different mind thoughts and theories, and you watching the same show. It's amazing that a character can do that, you know? Yeah. It's so good. So good.
Yeah, I need to go back and rewatch that with the subtitles on to get all the context of exactly what that conversation goes like. Because, yeah, I mean, I always forget, like when you're watching it, I'm always forgetting that Helena always does that. And it like the words "I forgive you" doesn't seem like it could be foreshadowing for something to come, but it definitely could be. And so it's in it. It makes it sound like to me. It makes it sound like it's right away. It's because you were with Kristen Cole. My son was getting killed. No one was there to help me, you know. And Kristen was blaming Eric, which I don't even really know if is that the truth. Was Eric really supposed to be up there? Like, I don't know what the truth is on that. But yeah, it's a good point though. The foreshadowing part. I always kind of forget about that when I'm just watching it.
Remember, Eric questions Cole as well as to why Helena never had a guard. Why he made it that Helena never had a guard. He never appointed a guard to be protecting her. He says that in one of the episodes. Why does the Queen Helena not have a guard appointed to her safety?
Yeah,
and he says why weren't you on duty or something?
And if you watch the episode back, and you can see it in this picture right here, when she says "I forgive you," it's almost like she's not saying it. She's not there. You can see it in her eyes. You can see it in her face. She said it, but it's almost like she didn't say it.
Yeah, she's also holding her stomach as well. I just noticed she's holding her stomach as well when she said that scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she just said it. Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go back and see.
That's foreshadowing something for sure because she's doing a lot.
Guys, I want to thank all of you. This has given me more questions coming out of the live stream than I had going in, and I like to profess as a Game of Thrones expert and a House of Dragon expert, and you guys are giving me more to think about. So thank you. This is why we do these things. So if you're enjoying it, please smash the like button. It's free. I know the YouTubers always say that, and it might be very annoying and very boring for you to hear YouTubers say that, but it doesn't cost you anything, and it means so much to all of us on the panel, not just myself. I may be the host, maybe on my channel, but these guys have also got channels as well, and they're connected with me in this stuff, and everybody in the chat's pretty much got their own channel as well. So please connect with each other in the chat, add each other, reach out, talk about House of the Dragon, build the community. That's what we're here for, I'd love for you guys to be having conversations with yourself throughout the week and then getting excited for Headless and Milky's lives every weekend and getting together to come and watch them and build that community. That's why we have Meme the Week at the end of the live stream for you guys to have your say with some of the funny things that you see throughout the stream. We are coming to the end of these. We're at slide 44, and I think there's only like 60 something, so we'll go through these pretty quick. We see Aegon.
Real quick on this Allison thing. So I just did a general Google search on Allison Hightower. Dude, I bet she's holding her stomach in, I would say, a third of these images. And they're all from different episodes. So I don't know. It seems like it's just something that they have her do or she just does. But it's funny, though. Emily Carey doesn't seem to do it as much. But dude, Olivia Cook does it a lot in these episodes. Like in these scenes. Yeah, it is. It's a little strange. Yeah, there's a ton. There's a ton of them. Actually, here's Emily Carey doing it right here.
Yeah,
it's
saying after she was getting pregnant.
Yeah.
Love it.
Maybe that will be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive for Funko.
Hey, we're taking bets on what they're going to call the baby. Aegon the 4th, Aemond the 2nd, Jaehaerys we'll take bets.
What number are we on?
Jeremy said the name up here. Here we go.
Egmont.
I'll be honest, when I read it, I said I bet you James the kid egg roll is what I said.
Egg roll.
Egg roll, because I said eye roll.
Yeah. Eggmond.
Yeah.
Oh,
love it. So we see we see the king, obviously, and he is in his armor, and he's saying that he's basically going to get ready to go to war. He's going to go and fight Sunfire, which was spoken against doing because, you know, he's going to be the king if you get killed, and it's a war and all this kind of stuff. And what if they bring another dragon? Then you're going to have to fight these dragons, and you know, you're a king. You shouldn't be doing this kind of stuff. You've got people to do it for you. But he's like, no, I'm going to be different to what my father is. I'm going to go out and I'm going to make things happen. And you know, he took claim of the burning mill and the victory of that. He took claim. He was like, okay, finally a victory for us and all this, and thousands of families dead and didn't care. And yeah, Otto Hightower is the baby's name. Love it.
And that's one name. That's not the last name. This is Otto Hightower.
Otto Hightower, yeah.
I don't know.
We see he has his new King's Guards, who are just his mates, as we said earlier on. They're just his dog buddies that don't care, which was very interesting because they were talking here about how he'd never been with a woman, which was, you know, interesting. I like the look that Aegon gave him. He was like, yeah, you just sworn to celibacy now. You're not allowed to sleep with women. You got to protect me as your king. And they giggle, and I love the comedy that is still in this show. This is such a serious show, and there's such serious things going on and everything happening, but there's still intertwines a little bit of comedy, which we never lost from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I mean,
I know we spoke. Yeah,
he may be a virgin, but I'll tell you what, he ain't gonna be no Podrick, bro. I'll tell you that.
We do have a character on here. I think it's Jasper. One of the guys on Aegon's Kingsguard who last week said, "What if it was in-house that killed the baby?" Remember that guy who said, "What if it was in-house?" He's Iron Rod, and there's stories about him that he has an iron rod that stands to attention. Yeah, that's George R.R. Martin and his sycophant mind that adds these little things to characters.
So his name is Iron Rod.
His nickname is Iron Rod. Yeah,
okay. Iron Rod. I like it.
The boys, exactly. Aegon the boys.
Do not Google that. Don't Google that.
don't Google Iron Rod.
Then we see Aegon looking in the mirror, self-thinking, self-reflecting within himself. Is this really what I want to do? Could I be going to my death here? Like, yeah, you know. And he gets talked down a little bit by Larys, doesn't he? Because Larys comes in and talks him down and says, "Don't go."
What would have made this look better for me? This whole scene right here is when he looked in the mirror. He saw a kid, him as a kid, because that's what he is. Okay. He's a kid. If he would have seen like 6-year-old him, you know, I think that would have been awesome. Personally,
we are going to see the younger Aegon, or is it Aemond? No, I think it might be Aemond that we see later. Yeah. No, I like that. I like that aspect, Charles. That would have been really cool to see a kid, a little version of him. Like they had the cameo with the younger Rhaenyra in this episode. They could have had David Tennant's son return and play the younger actor.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. I really like that. So yeah, Laris, Mitchie's favorite character, the guy with the foot fetish. He comes up. He basically shits on Alicent. Like last season, he was all for her and fiddling between her toes to get everything that he could. Ooh, Alicent's toes, lovely, lovely, lovely. Yeah, I'm distracted now, guys. I don't know where my mind's gone. It's straight in the gutter with blood and cheese.
Pregnant ladies like their feet rubbed, so there we go. She's pregnant.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, but Laris was straight in there, wasn't he? Straight in like a hawk. Bro, don't go, because if you go, the Queen Dowager Mother, your mother, is gonna basically take your side. They're gonna overthrow you while you're away, and you don't want that, bro. You know, you want to be your own man, do your own thing, and protect what you've got, because you need to protect it, basically. Master of Whispers, Laris foot fetish strong. Love it. Yeah, definitely building one leg Laris. Definitely building the power dynamic between these two. It could be very interesting going forward.
Yeah.
So then we see Ulf, and Ulf is in a bar and he's drinking and he's talking out loud and he's being, very boisterous and liked by everybody, it seems. In the book, the guy can't read and the guy can't write, but he is very popular in the pubs and very popular in the bars and stuff like that. And he says, from his own words, and I'm going to question this to you guys, I'm not going to confirm or deny, he says that he is the son of Balon the Brave, bastard brother to Daemon and King Viserys I, uncle to the one true Queen Rhaenyra, and he even says that blood runs through his veins. So I put it to you guys. Is he telling the truth or is he lying?
I believe he's telling the truth. That's who I was referring to as Will Ride Sea Smoke.
Oh, interesting. Headless?
Man, this is the one character, dude. I don't know. I still think he looks like a Stark, and I could definitely see him, like you said, being, having a Stark father and a Targaryen mother. I don't know, I have no idea who they would be, but I don't know. It'll be interesting. I kind of agree. I don't know if he'll be on Sea Smoke. I could definitely see him riding a dragon if he's part Targaryen, but all Targaryen, I don't see that at all. If he's just a straight Targaryen, it's a huge miss in my opinion, because they did not cast it well, because he doesn't really look
bastard.
like
He says he's a bastard brother, so his mother isn't Targaryen. It's only the father. So it's the Targaryen prince that's gone around.
Oh, that's right. He's Daemon's bastard. He's Daemon's bastard brother.
And Viserys' bastard brother. Yeah.
Or Viserys.
Daemon and Viserys' father that slept around. Yeah.
So who would be his father then?
Daemon and Viserys' father, Balon the Brave.
So he would be Balon's bastard son. So we don't know for sure who his mother is. So it's the father. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I still think it's a Stark, to be honest with you.
Okay. So he does mention dragon seeds, which I've planted the seed of plenty of times coming up to this. The dragon seeds we will see as a line of people who are believed to have had Targaryen blood within them. Maybe take a dragon or two, and that's basically, we've seen lines of that in previous episodes that we've shared on some imagery and stuff like that. But yeah, I wanted to bring this up with the question marks to get your guys' opinions and what you think going into it, because I don't think he confirms in this show that he's going to be a dragon rider. He says that he's a dragon seed. So if you don't know what that is, then you don't know that connects to being a dragon rider. But yeah, that's what I would say from the episode. That's what he gives us. Jeremy says that he's going to have a big connection in the uprising of the small folk. I think he'll line up in the dragon line. Yeah. They are definitely connecting the people with the small folk. Like we see Hugh Hammer and his family in the small folk and having issues because of the ramifications of what the king and the war is happening and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's definitely very interesting. But I don't know. I just think it's very blasé of the guy to be in the bar, just I'm the king. I'm the king's brother, dead, whatever. And then the king walks in, and it's very close that he nearly heard that. He could have been killed instantly.
Yeah.
And then crazy, absolutely crazy. And
There's something.
Did anybody catch the tavern girl that was serving the drinks at the table?
Mm-hmm.
The tavern girl on the table was the girl that Aegon sexually assaulted earlier in the season when he was younger. The maid the maid that was sexually assaulted.
The one that Allison gave the this tea to.
Correct. Yeah, that was the girl that was serving the drinks in the bar.
Yep.
I did not catch that. Nice.
And she overheard the conversation with Ulf. So she's got a vendetta with Aegon. Is that going to get out? Interesting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did not catch it. See, again, this is why I like watching it twice before. It's just today was crazy. So, but that's a good catch then, because I did not notice that.
Yep. We see Aemon in the brothels in his happy place where he wants to be, and he's we see him, and then he gets teased by his brother, and then I show Leo Ashton on screen because he was the younger version when he got teased for the pig and this kind of stuff. So it's just showing that this war, the people don't even know what they're fighting for. They're teasing each other, doing all these things, getting in each other's ways when really they should be together, arm in arm, brother by brother, helping to fight this war. But they're teasing each other and poking and prodding at each other. So it's very unethical and very unthoughtful when you're at war. I don't know. I've got brothers, but I'm older than all of them, so I don't know. I never did all that kind of stuff where you pick on them and do stuff like that.
Is it confirmed that the Aemon and her are having sex, or is it just that he likes just to be there? Or
no, it's confirmed.
It is confirmed.
She took his virginity, and she took his virginity, and he hasn't been with anyone since.
Okay,
so sleeps with her.
So they still sleep. Okay. I knew she took his virginity, but sometimes I always felt like he likes to do the whole hugging thing or whatever instead. Because I mean, we never see anything, so that's why I was always wondering.
Yeah, shout out to Leo Ashton. I met him at Comic-Con. There's the photo of me meeting the guy. Great guy. Great. Really, really cool guy. He even follows me on Instagram as well, which was really cool that day that he followed me back. I was like, wow, I've got somebody from the show that follows me back. And yeah, it would be great if he could be in the chat with you guys hanging out, and he could be Milky's friend. It would be cool, right? I've got photo proof. So, speaking of photo proof, I had to blur this for sensitive eyes. Charles, I didn't want to upset him. Is that Gollum? No, that's Aemond. We've got Aemond naked Attraction edition. If anyone's seen Naked Attraction, it's a UK game show for dating where the body is revealed from the feet up before the face, so you see the whole junk and everything before you see the face, and it's a pretty interesting show. But that's what we kind of got with Aemond. That's what we got with Aemond.
Right.
We even get a Naked Attraction comment. That brothel scene was Naked Attraction, House of the Dragon. Yep. Naked Attraction is amazing. You see everything. Mitchie, I wasn't looking. I genuinely was not looking. I tried to look away. I seen it and I was like, dude, what am I looking at? And then I was like, oh, okay. We look back.
I had nightmares from it.
We see the letter that Rhaenyra decides to open that she got from Alicent. Basically, she's saying that she didn't mean it, and yeah, it's interesting. I wish we got the whole thing so we could see it, and maybe we'll get some of that stuff in the behind the scenes footage later on when we get the open field battle area. I'm going to try and get us out here by the end of the 2 hours, guys. Gawain Hightower was basically running ahead, causing to question how he got circumcised. Well, how do you even know that? You paused it and looked to see if he got circumcised or not.
He paused and got the old magnifying glass out.
You have to zoom in.
Yep, that's right. Yep, that is circumcised.
Now that scene, I have questions on the field scene. Okay, Francis, go ahead. I might not be able to help you with them. I might be able to. I don't think that this is quite book accurate, to be fair, because, and I say that, Moondancer is the size of a horse in the books and is not flyable. Like, she's small dragon, she's quick, she's nimble, but she doesn't really fly very much because she's not fully grown. She's called the warhorse for a reason, because she's the size of a horse. When you think of a dragon, they're the size of 50 horses, not just one little tiny one. So in the book, it's different. In the show, we have her patrolling out here, doing what she's doing, and she sees she sees the armor shimmering in the sun. and Rhaenyra told her to stay high, don't get yourself in trouble, don't go low, don't give yourself any opportunity to get caught. But what does she do? She disobeys her. She goes low and she tries to chase Cole. Very interesting. Please, if you guys have questions, talk about it. I don't, the dragon for me though was a little bit too big.
One of the things that I think is most interesting is how many people are kind of going against what Rhaenyra says. That's what I'm starting to find. Even Rhaena was argumentative with her, and now we see Baela do it, and Daemon has already left, and it's I'm interested to see if it continues with other characters.
Even Jace was starting to look that way at the funeral scenes, and he was like, I don't agree with what you're doing. Like, Eric shouldn't be in there and stuff like that. So he's very good catch, very observant, good catch. Keep an eye out on it. It's important. Targaryens are nature lovers. Baela did not fire a single thing to roast Cole. Targaryens are nature lovers. Baela did not fire a single thing to roast Cole at all. Yeah. So she didn't want to burn the trees down. Good idea. She could have just, as she was right behind him, she could have just breath fire into that woods and probably killed all of them.
Yeah, scorched earth, baby. Scorched earth.
Well, in my estimate, by the end of this episode, there's 3 missed opportunities already to really do something on Rhaenyra's end, and they're not doing it.
So, Francis, I believe she didn't do anything. So you ask also when they enter the forest, why didn't Baela just fire them? They were inches away. I believe that they didn't fire at them because that wasn't her mission. Her mission was just reconnaissance. It was just to fly above, and if you see something, report it so that we can prepare.
Exactly.
Don't start a war. Don't start a war that you don't know what's going to happen, because that's what other people are doing that, and that's not the Blacks' way. So that's why I would believe that she didn't do anything. She did enough. Yeah, she did enough to get down on the ground and be close. And
I definitely think she wanted to, but I think, I agree. I think she kind of pulled back. Now, what it would have been really interesting though if there was no force in front of them and they just kept going. Then what would she have done?
Mitchie says the war's already started. Mitchie, the war has already started, but it has only been instigated by the Greens. The Blacks haven't done anything to start the war or to retaliate with the war.
Well, Daemon did.
Daemon did not, but that wasn't a Blacks authority order. That was Daemon being Daemon and going on his own path.
Right.
The Blacks, run by Rhaenyra, who we all support, hasn't done anything in this war. Her final thing this episode was what I believe was her final straw to try to make things better.
Yeah.
Cut to Daemon. Daemon has his visions. This was very, very, very fucking cool. I'm going to say that right now. So cool. Seeing Millie Alcock back and the Jaehaerys baby and all this stuff. So cool. I knew what we were seeing. As soon as I saw Daemon in a vision, I knew where we were going. I knew we were going to be talking about Alice Rivers. I knew we were going to be having mythical things coming into it and magic and all this kind of stuff going there. I've been waiting for Daemon to get to Harrenhal since season 2 started.
In the book, does he see young Rhaenyra then too? Or no? No, he doesn't. The books, he has visions and she makes him do stuff, but it's up to your interpretation. You don't really get it all laid out in front of your eyes as to what he sees, Just Daemon is feeling a bit eerie here and he wakes up and his 6 hours have gone by and all this kind of stuff. Let me check the book. Love to see Millie Alcock back. Let me check the book. It feels like a book from you guys this evening. Why did the War of the Burning Mill finally happen? Because of the Black and Green's argument. It's already started. Well, the War of the Burning Mill happened because of the two families that have been with war with each other for centuries. Yeah, I think other people have done stuff behind her back, but it's her, as she hasn't made that decision, and I feel like she might make the decision going into the next episode, but we will see. We see Daemon at a weirwood tree in Harrenhal. That's not right. That doesn't exist. That's not book canon. There shouldn't be a tree in Harrenhal. What's going on here? But is this part of his vision at this point?
Yes, that's my opinion. This is part of his vision. So this tree could be anywhere.
Right. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah. The scene of her stitching the kid's neck is nuts. I agree, Fidel. Completely agree. Yep. We see Alice Rivers. Alice Rivers is the key component in the story that would have any connection with any magic outside of dragons in the story and in the stuff going forward. So think Melisandre, think Red Priestess, all that kind of stuff. Alice Rivers is a character. I'm glad that we have her, because I was a little bit, I don't know what the word is, but I was a little bit anxious as to whether they weren't even going to go down this side with it. Because David is already bad enough as he is, but to get him now to be haunted and to do all these kind of stuff is really cool. But Alice Rivers we will talk about more in the upcoming episodes. Right now I feel like it's a little bit too spoilery. Yeah. Here we have a shot of the end, basically the end scene. Rhaenyra decides, with the help of Mysaria, to infiltrate King's Landing, looking like Septa Yelena. Shame.
He does look like her, doesn't he?
So she was. She walks through the crowd. Just because she's got a nun outfit on, no one can tell what her face looks like. Come on. I mean,
I was.
You know what the queen looks like. She sticks out like a sore thumb. My opinion.
Yeah. Blaze, we are still talking about Dragons, bro. We are usually here for 2 hours every Monday night, breaking them down. I tried to say an hour, and I do apologize to Charles and to
you're good, man.
Headless, because I did say backstage would be here for about 60 minutes, and we are close to 2 right now. But yeah. Thanks for being here, guys.
We're having a great conversation. The chat's loving it. Chat's very active. Let's keep going, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, thank you very much. And if anybody needs a toilet break or something, please feel free to leave. Like,
I've already gone twice to the trash can.
Okay, yeah. It's cold underneath.
LSAPC had a question here. Oh, no, not that one. When she says you'll die here, is that where the tree is or Heron Hall? Or is that a spoiler?
It could be a spoiler.
Okay.
So is that the same scene when he's walking?
Yeah, it's the same scene when he turns around from the tree and he sees her leaving. Yeah.
So
I would question: is it in Harrenhal? Is it at the tree, or is it in a dream? Is he going to die in a dream? Is he going to die at a tree? Is he going to die in Harrenhal? What's going to happen? You know?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
So just I don't mean to. I don't want to give spoilers away.
Yeah.
Francis, loving the questions. Thanks very much. That too. I have a question on that, Ryan. How many days will it take to be in Westeros? To be in Westeros from Dragonstone, Cole is like on a haze to go to war. Like the distance is weird to me. Yeah, I agree. So it took. Gwaine says it in this episode. It took him 4 months to come from Old Town to King's Landing. It took him 4 months, and we know that Daeron is on the way. Remember, dragons basically break the rule. Dragons can fly from here to there in one episode because they're dragons, and that's what they're made to do. They fly. But people marching and stuff. This isn't Gendry running from north of the wall back to the wall in the same episode. It's like thousands of miles. But it's not that.
I disagree. Did you see did you see his stats on the combine? Dude, Gendry
was good.
Dude, he's fast.
He was. But
It's only that
he wasn't
far
that
off
fast.
the map as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do it with your fingers. It's only that far. Yeah.
He trained with the Flash, so you know.
Francis, I would say we are a couple of weeks off yet. Honestly, I would say it would take at least a week to get from Dragonstone to Westeros. It's only over the water. Like, if you're coming from the far side with the Free Cities, that's a good long travel. I think it took Daenerys a whole season to sail over, pretty much. It took her a while.
Yeah, but she walked a lot.
She needs a bigger motor.
Yeah. We have some scenes. I love these scenes. Remember these scenes back in the day when they were younger and they were sharing these scenes with each other talking?
Yes.
So good. Blaze, you're lame. All right? Go play Fortnite.
Yeah.
Well, keep up the good work on Fortnite, bro. You've been sending me your screenshots. You're doing good. I appreciate you being here and listening to us talk about lame dragons, as you call it.
Yes,
back to the episode. We do have Alicent and Rhaenyra, and they're both sharing a scene that we have seen in a previous episode. Please, again, guys, know that this is not part of the book. This does not happen. It's completely made up. But it makes sense in the sense of if this is a secret meeting that these two have, why would the Maesters know about it to report it in the history book in the first place? If they don't know about the secret meeting happening, they can't report about it. So I'm happy with understanding and holding my hands high and saying the book is someone's opinion, the show is what happened. and I'm happy to go with that.
Okay.
But I love the books. I love the book as well, and I get a little bit annoyed. And maybe my score was a little bit lower because of this scene. But then going back into it and realizing, okay, I see what they're doing with it. Rhaenyra basically went and said, "Look, this is your last chance." My dad made that walk on his dying bed to come and see me. He opened that door, and he came and told me how much he loved me. Are you telling me that on his dying bed he denounced me as the ruler and he wanted your son? That's wrong. And then she explains, doesn't she, the prophecy she says about Aegon and the prince that was promised, and Rhaenyra. It's like, oh, what? Prince that was promised, and she realizes that this is all false, and it's just such a good conversation. And yeah, I'm saying that it's such a good conversation, and it was made up from the books. And yesterday I was a little bit peeved off by it, first instinct watching it, but you know, here we have a shot back. Alicent, Rhaenyra, Alicent, and Rhaenyra. So yeah, great. And we have the final shot here, basically Alicent looking pretty bemused because she does not agree, guys. What do you feel to this? The last talking point on this episode. Alicent does not agree after hearing the truth and knowing that she was wrong all along, and she made a mistake with what she'd heard from Viserys on his deathbed. She decides to go along and say there is no issue and walks away from Rhaenyra. And my final shot is, if it's so poignant, this is the Sept. We have the statues. The statues represent each gods. When they were sat down earlier on in the episode, they were sat in front of the mother, and they were both praying to the mother. And this shot here, the one in the middle is the crone, and that is to represent the faith and your belief in the faith. And Alicent here has her back turned to the faith, and she walks away with her back turned to the faith. That's what I take from this. All the way through the episode, back and forth with the faith stuff and not with it, and with the faith stuff and not with it. I think finally here she realizes that she's made a mistake, but there's no going back. She's powered these two boys in her family to absolute war and destruction, and now she has to deal with the ramifications and try and figure it out. And I now feel Rhaenyra walked away with, okay, let's just release the nuclear bombs. Let's just do this, if that's what you feel. That's all I'm going to say on this episode. Charles, how did you feel with the ending of this?
I think she knows she screwed up, but she doesn't want to admit that she screwed up, because if she admits it, her kid's out. You know, Rhaenyra's in. She can't have that. And Rhaenyra is trying everything she can for peace. That's what her dad wanted. That's what her dad did. That's what she wants. But she's not going to get it. It doesn't matter what she wants. Well, yeah. What?
She didn't get it. She didn't give her the piece that she requested there and then. She said no.
That's what I mean. She's not going to get it. She's not going to get what she wants. So we're going to go to war no matter what. I think that's going to have a pivotal role in everything, because Alicent is she's headstrong. She's like, no, I don't care. I heard what I heard, and that's it. You know, even though she knows the truth now, and you could see it as soon as she said it, the story probably rang a bell in her head too, because I'm sure she's heard the story as well at some point, you know, and it's crazy that she just won't admit it. But if she admits it, then her whole life is thrown upside down too. So, and she doesn't want that. It's all about her, and her family. So
I agree. Headless, what do you think about the end of the episode, and now that you've watched it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, it's kind of the beginning of the stream. I mean, Alicent basically. If you're a Team Green at this point, I don't know why. Like, I would love to know why, because this was kind of like the last straw. Alicent actually had an opportunity here, and she, like Charles said, she's already so deep into what she's done to those kids. What are you going to do? You know, and we didn't even see Otto in this episode. What I want to see is Alicent tell Otto that, and I want to see his reaction. I don't know if we'll get it, but I think
we will see Otto again. We will see Otto again in the season.
Yeah. So I don't, you know, like I said, it's at this point, it's the show is definitely making you want to like Team Black better. Now it's interesting because is it because they want to do a huge flip on you? That's the only thing I keep thinking, because I was always under the assumption that this show wanted you to be more neutral and pick a side. this is the whole promotion for this season is Team Green versus Team Black. But after watching the first 3 episodes, like again, if you are Team Green, I really have no idea why at this point.
Yeah. Francis, thank you very much. Francis said, Headless Ned Stark, sub to your channel. We'll dig in later on your latest content.
Thanks, man.
Francis, thank you for connecting. Appreciate it. Jeremy, people love what's right and underdogs. Team Black represents both. Hard to imagine being a Team Green at this point. Yeah, I completely agree.
Exactly right. Yeah.
It's hard to believe people will be Team Green, but I think there's those people out there that see past everything. Maybe they're seeing the aftermath of what's going on. They don't see what's right in front of them. They just see what's coming. They see 20 years down the road what it's going to look like. Yeah. Maybe that's what they're seeing. Maybe that's, I don't know.
It's a dysfunctional family filled with misunderstood individuals. That's where I see the Greens.
Okay. Yeah, and here's the other thing too. It's not like I don't think all the Greens are hated. I like Helena.
I love Aegon. Aemon's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, and well, Aemon might be a great character, but like in the world of House of the Dragon, I don't know if people like him. It's one thing to like. I like Johnny Lawrence, but am I rooting for Johnny to beat? Well, actually, I kind of am rooting for Johnny to beat Ralph Macchio sometimes, but that's a whole other conversation.
That went way over my head, bro. I don't know what that was.
Is that Power Rangers?
It's a Karate Kid, dude.
Power Rangers.
They put in terms, I
wax off. That's it.
I love Palpatine, but am I rooting for Palpatine to kill Luke? No, we want Palpatine to die at the end. Totally. But no, somehow he does return. But anyways, it just because you like a character on the grid. I'm talking about like a character I actually do like. Like Helena, I think is a good character. She just had an impossible choice, and what are you supposed to do? You have an impossible choice. At least if you are telling the truth, you could probably slip out of there just like she did. So, Aegon, honestly, I like Aegon, dude. I kind of want to hang with Aegon. He wants to go drink some beers, dude. Let's go drink some beers, bro. Let's go hop on a dragon. Like, I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with this character, as I still think he's one of the most intriguing characters in the show, and I can't get a read on this guy. It's sometimes I think he wants to be the Joffrey, and then sometimes it's like he's like the nice ruler that wants to give you back your cattle.
Interesting.
So, I have two
videos to play, guys, and then I have 2 videos to play that I had prepared for the live stream, and then we're going to get into meme of the week, and then I think Headless has something backstage with the maps that we'll get into.
If you wanted to do, it doesn't matter. I know we are talking about.
We're not going to stay for much longer, but we are going to get out of here after we've done meme of the week and we've seen what that is.
Don't have to worry about that. I was just pointing it up because I know we are talking about the distance of how long it took. Yeah. I was just going to show in the map how far it actually is.
Okay, Alison, I feel bad for her anyway. I think that she's loyal to Rhaenyra as a friend. Yeah, they're both grieving mothers. They both have been through the same thing. They both lost the same thing through war that wasn't really started for their own doing.
And I think Alicent really has drawn a bad card. Like it, Otto's the one who kind of forced her to do everything that she had to go do. I mean, again, when you're 14 or 15 years old and you tell your father tells you to go, sit with Viserys and console him for his loss, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, they're married. And I think that that's not the life that she truly wanted. Although I do think that even young Alicent, I think she was always jealous of Rhaenyra, and I think she took the opportunity to kind of grab it and take hold of it. But I think as time has gone on, she probably really is not happy with her own life. I think it's pretty evident just with her conversations in season 1 with Aegon. Like, I think she hates it. Like, I think she can't stand Aegon. And this, and I don't know how they kind of played off in season 1 where Viserys wasn't all that interested in being a father to them, because you don't really ever see them. You see him holding them on his second name day, and really, but like, there's not many conversations you see with Viserys and Aegon, like grooming him. There's nothing there.
He got more joy out of announcing to the world that he was a new father than actually being a father.
Right.
Which is very interesting. Charles, I have a question for you. What's the name of next week's episode, my friend?
Shit. Flight of the Dragon. Fight of the Dragon. Dragons.
Dance of the Dragon.
Yeah, dancing dragons, yeah.
What are you reading?
Yeah.
The Dance of Dragons.
What's it about?
It's the story of the fight between Rhaenyra Targaryen and her half-brother Aegon for control of the Seven Kingdoms. Both of them thought they belonged on the Iron Throne. When people started declaring for one of them or the other, their fight divided the kingdoms in two. Brothers fought brothers. Dragons fought dragons. By the time it was over, thousands were dead. And it was a disaster for the Targaryens as well. They never truly recovered.
Dance of Dragons. Why is that a dance?
It's just what they call it.
It makes much sense.
I think it's poetic.
And sometimes you have to burn your daughter alive.
And now that makes sense, right? That was an episode from a show called Game of Thrones. If anybody hasn't seen it, it's quite good. You should check it out. That was, Serene, and she was talking about Dance of Dragons, and she was reading it to her father, and he had some interesting questions about her. And we now finally get to reveal what that meant. Brother fought brother. That was the Cargills. That was always told about. So when you hear when I said last week how excited I was for the Battle of the Cargills, it was laid in Game of Thrones. And it's even mentioned at the start of that, how brother fights brother and all this kind of stuff. So it's been a long, long story going forward. We do have another little mashup video that we made. Hope you like this one. It's called Love is a Losing Game.
You said that it was your aim to spill Hightower blood. And if not Aemond, then anyone would do.
No.
You have wounded me, weakened my claim to the throne, my ability to raise an army, my standing among my own council.
I said no.
I don't believe you. So we come to it at long last. I cannot trust you, Damon. I've never trusted you wholly, much though I wished to, willed myself to. But now I have seen that your heart belongs only to you. And when I was a child, I took this as a challenge, but I'm older now. I have challenges enough.
I have served you faithfully.
Have you? Or have you used me as a tool with which to grasp at your stolen inheritance?
It was a mistake.
Yeah, that pretty much summarizes that relationship.
Makes me cry.
Yes.
I don't upload videos on the channel because I spent too long making mashup edits like that to bring to live streams. I should have uploaded that as a video, but you guys got to see it, so I hope you really liked it. Thanks, Francis. Thanks.
Re-edit that as a short, dude. That's really good.
Yeah, it's all right. I liked it, but you guys got to see it first, so know that you're special to me. That I didn't even upload that anywhere else. It was fun, and I love that song, and it so encompasses the character and the relationship that those two have between each other.
Yeah,
so good, guys. That's it. We have Meme of the Week coming up. I want to thank everybody for hanging out and breaking down episode 2, season 3 of House of the Dragon, The Burning Mill. If you would like to check out the description afterwards, please click the links down there for links to Headless Ned Stark's channel and Papa Missouri's channel. They both join me every single Monday. We even have other guests on throughout the week. If you would also like to be a guest on one of these, please reach out to me at RyanMilky14 on Instagram, and I'm more than happy for you to come up. You don't have to have a camera. You just need to have a camera phone, and you can be a little dot in the corner. If you've got a voice and you want to be heard, then I want to hear what you've got to say. So please reach out and let me know. There you go. We have a dot in the corner. We're used to it. We've been trained. There's been many dots in many corners throughout many live streams. Just leave that one there.
Usually we make Charles put his nose on the dot, though.
Francis, don't go anywhere, bro. Or sis. I don't mean to assume your gender. We do have Meme of the Week. Meme of the Week is up. Let's do it.
Go.
Real quick. Okay, go ahead, do that first.
No, go ahead. Go on. We've got 13
seconds. Francis had a good question up there. Did you see it? Here, I'll pull it up.
I didn't. I apologize. Was it the winter fever?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe the winter fever could come into effect as little as the end of this season. I do think it's a spoiler though, due to a major character death. So
now it says winter. I thought you meant Winterfell. And now it says winter. And you just confirmed winter fever. I'm like, spoiler.
Yeah, winter fever. Winter Fever. Yeah. No, I was reading. Did I read that wrong or what? Yeah.
Yeah, wait, no, I thought maybe it was like misspelled. Like he tried to put in Winterfell, and it just came out Fever instead. So,
Fidel,
yeah,
bro, you don't even know. Fidel, I'm already stressed out for next week, bro. I wish I could start now because next week is going to be insane. It's called Dance of the Dragons. It's going to be amazing, and I have told you and warned everybody to have tissues at the ready. Tissues for people and tissues for dragons. That's not a spoiler. That's a prediction. Oh, it's not a prediction. It's a spoiler. You know they're going to die. Come on. Meme of the week. Let's do this. Let's get out of here. We've been here 2 hours and 10 minutes. 10 minutes too long. Meme of the week, episode 1. This is Lord Corlys Velaryon and Princess Rhaenys going to Driftmark. Nice. It's not. It's Carol and Ezekiel from The Walking Dead.
Yes.
Headless was a bit confused there. He's like, hang on a minute, what?
I'm like, wait, when did this happen? And I'm like looking, I'm like, dude, it really looks like him. That's fantastic.
It does. It does, doesn't it? Yeah, guys, if you would like your memes shown on the stream, please send them to me throughout the week. Fidel has been on it like a rocket all week. I get tagged in it from Fidel. I love it. And other people have been doing it too, so I thank you all. We have House of the Dragon actor Fabian Frankel turns off Instagram comments after facing a lot of hate for his role. And then I saw this little letter online. It was, hey, usurper, half-brother, and former homoerotic friendship. Hey, I heard about what happened to Jaehaerys, and I wanted you to know that we are here at Dragonstone are thinking of you during this difficult time, keeping all of you in our thoughts and prayers. I accidentally forgot to put Daemon on a leash and lock him in the castle, lock the castle door. So you know how he is when he gets a little free roamy. To make you feel better, he's been placed in time out at Harrenhal for now. He feels really remorseful about what happened to Jaehaerys, and has even lit a little candle to keep him in his thoughts and prayers. I just want to apologize for the misunderstanding. Boys will be boys, right? At least you have something to burn, so that's a silver lining. Best regards, Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen, the rightful heir to the Iron Throne. P.S. Aegon, father never loved you. Also, could someone please tell Kristen Cole to stop sending tear-stained letters with orange peels stuffed inside? It's getting strange.
Jesus.
The imagination of people on the internet is fantastic, and I love it.
Gosh. Yes.
P.S. Your father never loved you. I know, I love it, right? We have Jaehaerys, Rhaenys, Rhaenyra, and then Daemon the side dog, looking with the side eye. And then I believe this is from a show called The Office. We have a bearded friend called Big Easy who's a big fan of this, but this is the shit version, the USA version. So, like, if you want to watch The Office, watch the UK version, guys. But I will include all memes that get sent to me, as long as they're within the right reason. Here is there's a shot from episode 2 with the twins fighting. Charles, I got your girl in for you. I made sure. I know she's a little girl here, but this is still your girl.
No, that's not.
Is it not?
No.
Okay, never forget that. Yeah, no, that's the Olsen twins.
Yeah.
Mary Kate and Ashley, right?
Yeah, that's a different Olsen.
No, that's the same family.
Oh, it's the same family. But
so it is her sisters, but she's not the twin. Okay.
Those are his sisters. Right.
Good try, though. Good try.
Yeah.
Very Star Wars right there. Very Star Wars.
But that's not the Olsen twins.
No. That's
Lindsay Lohan.
Yes, Lindsay Lohan. Yeah.
Oh.
Who's
I had to think about the name. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't she a twin too? Lindsay Lohan?
No.
Wait, then who's
but the Olsens are twins, right? Mary Kate and Ashley. They're twins.
Correct. So wait, who is she fighting in? As Lindsay Lohan.
It must be her. It must be Freaky Friday where these. I don't know what this movie is. It was just sent to me as a meme. So.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll move on. The destruction of Viserys' Lego set was the worst war crime of the season so far. Just want to put that out there.
Oh, love it. Yes.
It was from the Parent Trap movie, says Francis. Okay.
Yes.
We also have Aemon the Fierce. It's Gollum again. And then Aegon and Puss in Boots, it's literally the same picture. It's literally the same thing.
Yeah, look at the eyes. Same eyes.
We have an email from our boss saying, just touching base before meeting at 9, and we have Otto going, I do not wish to hear of it. So when your boss sends you an email, just go to the Otto meme. I do not wish to hear of it. Don't send me emails.
Nice.
Love it. And then, we have the final slide of guys, follow me on social media, Ryan Milky14, on mostly all platforms. And there's a photo of me at Dragonstone holding the shield, bending both knees to Rhaenyra, and to one for Rhaenyra and one for Daenerys. That's what I did there. And then that's the end of Meme of the Week.
Nice.
I want to thank everybody for submitting their stuff to me. I really, really appreciate it. It gives me a laugh throughout the week. I think Fidel loves sending them throughout the week, and then it gets to Monday and he's like, oh, I'll send loads more. And I end up getting a couple more. So I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys. Love the live. Thanks so much for doing this, Milky. Corey, you're very, 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 very welcome. Thank you for being here. You're in the UK, my friend, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I know I'm used to this. I've been doing this for years, but the fact that you're up listening to me, all these guys are American, and it's a little bit earlier in the evening for those guys. And I still thank you all for being here because you're spending time with me. But special shout out goes to Corey because it is 3 in the morning, and I really appreciate it. So thank you, Corey. I love doing them knowing that you're watching. I love when we see Helena because I know that you're going to be interested and you're going to have more stuff to talk about. So yeah, thank you very much. Any of you guys got any questions for me before we get out of here? I've left you here for a bit longer than I thought, but yeah, any questions from you guys or the chat before we get out of it?
No, I am good.
That's it.
The memes, lol, says Fidel. T says, have a good evening, everyone. Anyone going to watch that Star Wars series tomorrow? I may not, and wait to watch the last 3, then it's done. Yeah.
There's a Star Wars series? I didn't know.
LSAP says you're a rock star. I guess he's talking to you, Poppin. Thanks for feeding my House of the Dragon recap, Hunger. No, you're very welcome. Jeremy, thank you for the compliment. I very, very much appreciate it. There's no questions from the chat. That's fine. Guys, again, my name's been Ryan. Thank you very much for hanging with me this evening. We will be back on Wednesday. We'll be on Headless's channel talking about Acolyte. And I'll be back on Friday on Poppin's channel with the Horsemen. We're going to be doing all sorts of stuff. I'll even be live tomorrow night, but I won't be on screen. I'll be behind the scenes moderating for Let's Chat with Veterans over on Tuesday night. I'm a very busy guy, guys. I know I find time to get all this stuff in. Sunday we'll be back for episode 4, Dance of Dragons. We'll be reacting to it straight after the episode live with Headless over on his channel, and then on my channel with a detailed breakdown. Mitchie wants to block an hour of your time for questions soon. Mitchie, let's do it. Let's have Mitchie time on the live stream. We'll do a live stream where I'll send only you the link, Mitchie, and you can ask me any questions you like for an entire hour, and we'll go with that. And guys can come and ask questions in the chat, and I'll ignore them because I am there for your dedication.
Yes.
We'll do that.
You are a superstar, man. You're a superstar for sure.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. I just read a book several times and listened to an audiobook several times, and I can control my whole life and survive I wear the clothes. I have the things hanging up on the wall. It's my thing, and I like to do it, and I love it. And yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. I'd just be a normal guy on the internet talking to myself, and you all know I don't like talking to myself. I like to have somebody with me. But yeah, we are literally I'm milking this now, so let's find a thing we can play. Let's go with this thing.
Perhaps Prince Damon would care for a tour of the gallery. He hasn't yet seen the new tapestries gifted to you by Norvis and Quahor.
Would you like to see the tapestry?
Hey, I may be hungry, but I thought he said pastries. So
wait till season 3 when I super cut it to, do you want to see the tapestry? I'm not dead. Love it. Guys, my name's been Ryan. That's been Headless down there. And next to me over here has been Poppin. Thank you for joining us. May the gods forever be in your favor. I think that's from a different show. I don't think that's Game of Thrones. Best chat so far. I completely agree, Fidel. The chat has been flying tonight, and I will remember this for a long time. Yes. Thank you all so much. I'm going to play my outro, and then I'm going to play the Dance of the Dragons thing again. And then I'm going to leave you with Love is a Losing Game because I had so much fun making that, and then I'm going to end the stream. So feel free to saunter out of here whenever you like, or you can stay and listen to those. But yeah, again, I can't express how much I thank all of you. Best Hot Deep episode ever. Best live. Thank you from Jeremy. Jeremy gets the last word. Guys, good evening. Good night. God bless. There you go. We'll do that.
Thank you.
that it was your aim to spill Hightower blood. And if not Aemond, then anyone would do.
No.
You have wounded me, weakened my claim to the throne, my ability to raise an army, my standing among my own council.
I said no.
I don't believe you. So we come to it at long last. I cannot trust you, Damon. I've never trusted you wholly. Much though I wished to, willed myself to. But now I have seen that your heart belongs only to you. And when I was a child, I took this as a challenge, but I'm older now. I have challenges enough.
I have served you faithfully.
Have you? Or have you used me as a tool with which to grasp at your stolen inheritance?
It was a mistake.
What are you reading?
The Dance of Dragons.
What's it about?
It's the story of the fight between Rhaenyra Targaryen and her half-brother Aegon for control of the Seven Kingdoms. Both of them thought they belonged on the Iron Throne. When people started declaring for one of them or the other, their fight divided the kingdoms in two. Brothers fought brothers. Dragons fought dragons. By the time it was over, thousands were dead. And it was a disaster for the Targaryens as well. They never truly recovered.
Dance of Dragons. Why is that a dance?
It's just what they call it.
Doesn't make much sense.
I think it's poetic.